Chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. Look, faking the lead, we don't follow. We need it now, not tomorrow. Don't care what they say, not changing the pace. Working too hard to be last in the race. So much time in the day and it ain't none to waste. Working this hard to be one of the greats. Whatever it takes, put that on the plate. Life is a gamble, we raising the stakes. Moving the bar up so high. Been on our grind, for life. Bringing the light, you just so bright. We shining, platinum sound cool, but we trying to reach diamond. Hard work pays off, that's perfect timing. Changing the world with this rhyming, it's priceless. We got the nicest by putting the time in. Can't be the greatest, I'm not even trying. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up.
Man, I lost track of time. I apologize, Mama. Go ahead and eat without me. I'm still on the grind.
I ain't touching home base by dinner time. All I can see is the finish line. Started, I gotta finish mine. It's get it time, anytime, hella long. I've been in line, I didn't mind it all. Wake and bake, won't take a break at all. That's on my word, my boss. Naming lights, gon' have to pay me twice or pay me no mind, and I don't mind it all. My grind is grit, I am my job to inspire. I'm right behind Goat, a line that's been fired by a chain for a time. I ain't get hired, second week kicked in, I probably won't get tired. Kevin Gates or Kevin Bacon, only 6 degrees of separation between me and the next level of elevation. Perseverance, the art of dedication. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted.
Hello everybody and welcome in. It's Sunday evening and we all know what that means. That means it's time for some good old-fashioned Sunday evening Assetto Corsa Competizione racing. We are here presented by the Infinite Racing League, partnered with Coach Dave Academy. Round 8. That means it's finale night, ladies and gentlemen, and what better way to finish it than a famous racetrack? We're in Italy and we're at Monza. It's going to be a good race tonight, and the championship is still undetermined coming into the final round. We've seen an absolute mix-up of a race last week, and, well, we do not have a defined champion yet. MxBloxom coming into round 8 still has that points championship lead coming into the finale here tonight, but Johnny B still has a very equal opportunity to overcome and retain the repeat championship that he's currently trying to slam down here today. Now, a little fun fact about Johnny B and MxBloxom: they are teammates. When Team IRL goes into their team endurance events in other leagues and other events, Bloxom and Johnny B train together and they're team drivers together, and they do extremely well together. So they are teammates pretty much in behind, off the track, and in this series, or in behind this series and other events. However, today, I assure you, these two will be mortal enemies. It is all fists will be out. It'll be no holds barred, and there's going to be no love lost on the racetrack here tonight. And at the end of the night, one of those two should be crown champion. Now, is that guaranteed? Not necessarily, but definitely looks like the way it's shaping up. So we're just checking things out here. We have a little bit of time still. Obviously, we have about 2.5 minutes here. We're in free practice, so welcoming everybody again. Another family-friendly stream here for those of us that are watching and wondering, please. It is alright if the whole family partakes here tonight. At the end of the broadcast, we'll have some driver interviews. That's the part that might get a little risque. Sometimes it's a little close on the borderline here with Infinite Racing League, but these guys get really hyped up after these races, so it's totally understandable. But we are going to... well, 80 minutes tonight. I mean, what else am I going to say? But that is a whole lot of racing that we have in store. Alright, we're just doing a little check over here. Make sure everything is running tickety-boo. So I can get over there on the IRL. Everything's looking good. Everything seems to be looking good. Alright. So. Like that. Gotta open this up. So many steps, so many processes, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you. Oh, we need a new driver as that one has come off. And I mean, the drivers are just checking their their tunes and just, you know, all that stuff, so. I'm just trying to get the details for everybody here. Just bear with me uno momento. It is 2 stops mandatory here tonight, so it's going to be a 15-minute qualifying run with an 80-minute race here today. There's 2 mandatory pit stops, 4 tires optional. Fuel optional. Sunny and global warming hot is what it says here. And it will be a guided formation lap here today, so it's going to be interesting. Alright, we're just trying to get connected in here. Just un momento. There's a button here somewhere. Oh, there we go. Alright, we're in biz here. Let's get back to business, shall we? Let's get to bringing us a race. So, qualifying will be starting here shortly. We're going to go back to the garage here now. Oh. Alright, so we have Rapid Duck. So far fastest in practice is Josh Hart, second fastest in practice. Bloxom is third fastest in practice. And Johnny B is fourth fastest in practice. So let's take a look at this. Alright, these 2 drivers that are fighting for this championship battle tonight are literally separated by 0.065 seconds in practice. If that's not leading up to be an epic race finish here this season from the Infinite Racing League, I really don't know what else is. Call me CJ coming in with its top 2 time there. Maybe, but Tango 2, Josh Hart, Cletus, Rigo, Coulon, Fluka, Pixel Chaos, Seal, Greener, we're going to call him Bernie, Scary Guy, Racing Hobo, and Joko in 17th position. So, looks like 17 drivers here to come and finish off the racing season in Italy. And it's a long racing season. Qualifying has officially started. And it looks like it's going to be Tango 2. He's not first on track, but we're going to stick with Tango 2 here, BMW driver, while he heads around the outlap here. And for most of us here within the community and those that are returning viewers, we all know Monza quite well. Obviously, within the content, it's a popular track. It's a spicy track. It's a high-speed technical racetrack. So when we say high-speed technical, what we mean is even the turns, the chicanes, the corners, you're taking them at a fairly high rate of speed around this circuit, which means very rarely are you probably dropping under 80 to 90 miles an hour around any given point around this circuit. With the exception, of course, of the 2 chicanes, obviously being turns 1 and 2 and turns 4 and 5. That's about the only time these guys are really going to drop down into the low gears, and those are crucial spots in the racetrack. They make or break lap times and also make or break for position gain or loss as well. They're great passing opportunity spots as well, but it is risk versus reward. Sausage curbs are always the big issue. especially here at Monza, especially heading in through the Ascari sector. Makes for great passing there too as well, but again, that's a risk reward. There really isn't a place you can't pass at Monza, I guess, in a sense, if you have two really skilled race car drivers beside each other, but you know, there's decisions to make when you're on the racetrack. Alright, so Tango 2, he's on his official first lap here. We're gonna see what, about minute 50, minute 48 to minute 52 probably on average. I'm thinking at race pace around the racetrack here now, keeping in mind that Assetto Corsa, of course, is a slightly different than Gran Turismo, so the times do vary slightly. I feel Assetto Corsa is a little more on point with realistic GT3 times over the Gran Turismo platform currently. Not that they're that far apart, but I still feel it's just slightly more realistic here on this side of the sim racing world, basically. Alright, so Tango 2 here, we're coming into the second chicane, so turns 4 and 5 here. You can see one of the Audis there up in front. I believe that MxBloxom he has up in front of him here, so it's a good driver to be tucked in behind. You know, he has good pace. And that takes us into the first Lesmo here. And then, there it is. Comes around, maybe that's Dunlop, I can't remember. I'm a little shady. No, Lesmo 2 is right there, right? And then that takes us up to the run to Ascari, so I was right. That was just a corner ahead of myself here. But I hope everybody's doing good. We got Leo coming in with a thumbs up on the stream. Alright, so we got MxBloxom up in front. He's fourth. We're going to see where he slots in when Tango comes around the start-finish line. So as we head into Ascari here, you see, going to take a little bit of curbing all the way around. That's just to maximize the apex and, of course, rotation and speed. Nice little clip of the curb right there, and he gets a nice clean exit of Ascari there. 130 miles an hour. Glad to see you're at the Temple of Speed, Monza. Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing, homie? Alright, final corner. This is an important corner too. You want to maintain as much momentum as you can around the corner and get back into your throttle as early as physically possible in this corner. It's a deceiving corner, and well, it's just time behind the wheel really tells you the story there. So what do we got from Tango there? It's third fastest currently on the grid, a 151.157, and it was actually faster than MxBloxom, and Johnny B currently sitting in second right now. Now that may change. We still have a little under 11 minutes of qualifying remaining. So Seal currently sitting in 12th. Racing Hobo currently sitting in 16th as he just comes across the start-finish line there. Rapid Duck currently sitting on pole with a 149.247. And really starting to feel good in that McLaren there, as he was saying in the interviews last week there, with a good race win from him as well last week. Call me CJ, he's up here in 7th place. Doesn't have an official lap recorded yet. 151.970 coming out of Rigo, and that's good enough for 5th place here currently as he comes around. We got a BMW out. Johnny B here currently sitting in 2nd place. It's a 150.090, and MxBloxom has yet to get a valid lap in here so far in qualifying. And as we talk about the gentleman, there he is right there, just in behind Johnny B right now. So in qualifying, they're even trying to psych each other out here a little bit maybe, but right now Johnny B has the advantage as MxBloxom doesn't have a proper lap in yet. 150.352, but that must be an invalid lap here or something. I'm not sure what we're seeing there. Josh Hart currently sitting in 5th, and he's in the Audi here as well. It's a 151.157. Bernie has got a 154.5, and he's parked it. He's just going to sit there with that. Scary guy typically doesn't qualify, we've noticed. Jay Hot, hey, how you doing, brother? Good evening, bro. Hope you're well. Hey, we're fantastic. Hope you're doing good too. Appreciate that thumbs up on the stream as well. Ian Grainer here in 15th position. He's just, I believe, 3rd race now here with the Infinite Racing League in the GT3 Summer Series, so love to see him coming back. Cletus here, he opted to go with that new Ferrari 296. Obviously, when the game came out, lots of drivers have switched their cars, which means they had to start from 0 points again. So only a few players really left in here for the top of the podium at the end of the season. Who are we here with? Coulon. We're going to go with Coulon. 8th place here right now. That was a pretty good time. 151.582. And don't know much about this driver. First race that I am aware of from him. Fluka. There we go. We haven't gotten on Fluka yet. Always time for another amazing race. You know it, TDC. How you doing, homie? Alright, Fluka here in 7th place as he's just coming around right now. Let's see what Fluka's got. It's a 151.535. Fluka's been doing really well this season. I've been seeing lots of improvement. This driver's consistency and pace feels really comfortable behind the wheel. This Ferrari seems to be really hooking up with it, and especially behind the wheel of the new model Ferrari compared to the old model Ferrari. So we're going to stay on board here with Fluka. He's almost 3/4 of a second up right now on that 51, and that's going to move him up for sure. In a provisional starting position here for our 80-minute race tonight as he comes through Lesmo 2 there, I believe. We're heading up into the run to Ascari now, and oh, Ascari is so much fun, but boy, oh boy, if you get it wrong, not so much fun anymore. Makes for a hold on and hopefully you don't take anybody out situation. This is console, PlayStation 5, J-Hot. So Fluka dropped down to 9th. There's a couple drivers have improved on their time as well. So he is up just a hair over a second as he exits Ascari here. And now he's just got one very long sweeping final corner to go here before he comes in to that start-finish line. But he is definitely up on this lap time. So this is a crucial corner here for Fluka as he comes around the corner. He's up big time here, 1.2 seconds. Let's see if he can get the power down. Aaron coming in with that thumbs up. Appreciate that like on the stream, my guy. Hope you're doing fantastic. Got a yellow flag up ahead there. You can see the caution in front. He's up almost 1.3 seconds here. This is going to be a big improvement for Fluka, and it's good enough for P5 with a 150.287. Great lap right there by the Ferrari driver. Pixel of Chaos here right now, currently on a 52.127. Let's see if he can improve here as he comes around the first Lesmo here in Lesmo 2. Nice clean exit. Keeps that car nice and straight, gets a good launch. Let's see if he can, there it is. He's up about 2/10 here, so let's stick with Pixel of Chaos here as he comes heading up into Ascari. Oh, fantastic. Yes, lots of people play it here for sure. It's a great game. Very fortunate on the PS5 version because we get basically what the PC guys get just a little bit later in the year. So it's a really nice transition for sure. And I mean 30 car grids. Yeah. That's a huge, awesome. Let's do the 30 car grids. So we're almost up a second here now as well. So another driver who got a great run through Ascari here. And this is about the time the cars are really starting to settle into their qualifying tunes. So we're probably going to see a lot of these guys really start to find time here in the last 5-6 minutes of this qualifying run. And it's a good improvement here for Pixel of Chaos. And it's good enough to move him up into 10th place with a 51.27. So great run there from Pixel. So here, let's jump on board with Choco right now. 53.6 is his best, and he's up 1.2 seconds. So again, another driver that's just starting to feel the car coming in underneath of him here as he comes through the first Lesmo, heading into Lesmo 2. A little bit of a twitch in the car there in the line, but he's still up 1.5 seconds here now. So he's having a nice lap here, and again, one of the headmasters behind what happens behind the scenes here at Infinite Racing League. So much love to our number 222 Ferrari driver Choco. He keeps the wheels going round here with the help of his great staff at the Infinite Racing League, so we're rooting for him. And great looking Ferrari out on track here today as well. But he's still 1.5 seconds up here, so he got a good run through Ascari. He didn't gain anything through Ascari there, so that's obviously not where he's been struggling on the racetrack. I haven't been the best at having qualifying setups. Yeah, I feel you, Aaron, I feel you. Looking to start getting at AACC here soon, maybe become my regular Wednesday stream once I get a bit more comfortable with the game. Takes time, it does take time. Almost 2 seconds here as we're heading towards the finish line, and it's good enough to put him up into 14th position there, so 52.285, so a good improvement there for Choco as well. Let's see where Tango 2 is sitting at here. A 150.642 is his best lap currently, and he is down a little bit, so let's try to find somebody who's up on their time here. It looks like Seal is just a little bit up, and he improves to 51.595. It's good enough to put him up at the 9th place on the grid here so far provisionally. Racing Hobo, here we go. We got Racing Hobo up on his lap here as we head into Lesmo 2, and looking pretty good. So up that long run to the entry into Ascari here now, and still up a little bit. So don't have to be up a lot. You don't have to be, it's just like to see it when the drivers are up and improving on those times in qualifying. So it should be a good race. It should be a good race, I think. A fight between Bloxom and Johnny B here tonight, though, is going to be a battle to probably remember for a while. So get ready to settle in, folks, because those two, it's going to be, if one of them makes a mistake, that could be championship over for those drivers tonight. So everything is on the line between the two gold Audis on the racetrack. Our number one driver, Johnny B. Banging, who is our defending champion this season, and MxBloxom in the 274 gold Audi is the one who's trying to take that crown from Johnny B, and he does have the championship's point lead coming into today as well. So, and it is a small improvement there for Racing, hoping that's good enough for him to jump up into ninth now with a 51.230. So still got 3 minutes left to qualify. Let's sit with the pole sitter here as he comes across the start finish line there. He definitely squashed that lap a little bit. A 48.712. Josh Hart there with a 49.8, so a full second ahead of the pace on the rest of the field right now is Rapid Duck, and I guess the name, well, speaks for itself because he is showing his pace behind the wheel of that McLaren right now, let me tell you what. But Josh Hart, he's coming in hot here too, sitting in P2 right now in that Audi, currently on the racetrack. But let's stick with Rapid Duck here. He's just a hair down on his time, but let's see what a 149 looks like here, or quicker on ACC. Now, unfortunately for him, oh, look at that. That's some great recognition right there by the BMW driver. He just absolutely took the runaway lane there. Seen those guys coming in on that hot lap, and he just got out of the way. That is some fantastic awareness right there, and that is a massively wide corner exit there, and I guess they're allowing that. It did not void the lap here from Rapid Duck, so you can take the wide exit coming out of Lesmo 1 there. Notice that right off the bat, so race control being friendly with the race car drivers here tonight. So that cost him though. You can see he went from just being a 10th down to almost half a second down here. So right now, if that's the case, we're looking at about a 49.3 style lap. Let's see if he can gain some of it back coming out of Ascari here. No, he's still losing just a smidge of time. But however, he's about in that slipstream range there. And oh wow, he's let up here. I don't think he wants to interfere with the hot laps of the other drivers, so he's just gonna say, nope, that works for me. Call me CJ's on an invalid lap. There we go. Let's go with Rigo, 13th place driver. Best lap here so far is a 151.970. You can do 48s around here on PC. I sure you can. Yeah, I'm sure it's a little bit better on PC than it is console. Obviously, PC is just a stronger operating system depending how you have your PC built. But if you're running ACC on PC, you've got a pretty good PC. It requires quite a bit to run it. So almost up 2.5 tenths here. So this is a pretty good improvement here if he can hold it together as we come through Lesmo 1 and 2 here. So, oh, there we go. He gained some time there through the first part of the sector. And let's see if he can gain some more here. And yeah, he's still up. A little bit of a wiggle on the exit there. That's gonna cost him. He's just dripping a little bit of time away there with that little wiggle, but this will be his final lap here too. He will cross the start finish line with the checkered flag here on this lap, so let's stick with our 14th place driver currently right now as he heads into Ascari. So Rigo's been here all season. He's been in this Mercedes all season. He is one of these drivers that's definitely up in the top 10 in the point standings, just due to the simple fact is he didn't change his car. Has had some pretty good races for himself this season, so looking to have a good strong season finish here as Rigo. So that's what we love to see. That's what we love to see. It's not about necessarily winning championships all the time, but just having fun, enjoying the competitive racing, and trying to better yourself each time out. So almost half a second up here as he comes around the final corner again. Just a slight little wiggle there as he was coming around the corner, and it's going to cost him about a tenth, but definitely an improvement there for Rigo as he comes around, and it's not going to be good enough to take another position, but a 151.560 there for Rigo and the Mercedes. So that was a good job there by him. I don't think anybody else is on a lap here. Oh, we have Fluka and what appears to be Rapid Duck still rocking and rolling on a lap here. So Fluka, he's going to dive it into pit lane. So is Rapid Duck. They're going to have a little bumping and loving there, and yeah, they're going to bring it in. Both drivers down on their laps, obviously, so just a little bit of fun play. Oh, Critico. We have not seen Critico yet this morning. Hello, Critico. He has an invalid lap, so that's unfortunate for him, but we know he's a quick driver as well, so let's see what Critico can do here tonight. But, oof, we're about to go racing. We're about to go racing. Qualifying has officially finished. We're just going to go take a peek. Hey, Rigo, let's go. Appreciate you, my dude. Have a good race today, my guy. Alright, let's catch up here on Facebook. We got TDC coming in with the heart and the share. Appreciate that extra support. Double share, my guy. Even That's legendary. There we got Chris coming in with the heart and the share. Appreciate that extra support as well, my dude. I think console's last update have leveled the playing field between console and PC. There was an update for console in the last week, hence why you've now got the Ferrari 296. Yeah, for sure. The only thing we're missing compared from console to the PC right now is the spectator mode. The spectator mode is very underdeveloped compared to the PC version, but I don't doubt that they will eventually address that, and we'll get what you guys have on the PC. And I can't wait as a broadcaster because, well, there's some great camera angles that we're just missing right now in the game here on console. So there's a few things missing still, but you know, good for them. They're working on it 100%, and that's really all we can ask as sim racers. The platform is actually working on the platform, and ACC does a great job of it too, in my opinion. So. To give us something to work with, that's for sure. So we got Rapid Duck sitting in pole position. Will be Josh Hart lined up beside him. In row 2 will be Johnny B with championship points leader MxBloxom right beside each other. It doesn't get any sweeter than that. Championship points leader and defending champion lined up side by side in row 2. And basically, whichever driver finishes ahead of the other driver, not quite, but pretty much is how it's going to go down, is going to win a championship here today. Johnny B has to beat MX by 2 full positions, I believe, maybe even 3. But MX needs to finish ahead of Johnny B to secure the championship, so it's going to be interesting. We've got Cletus in 5th, Critico in 6th, Fluka in 7th with Tango lined up beside him in 8th. In row 5 is Coulon and Pixel of Chaos. In row 6 is GLR Seal with Racing Hobo. In row 7 is Call Me CJ with Rigo. In row 8 will be Choco and JDR in the Lamborghini. In row 9 will be Ian Greener with Bernie, and Scary Guy will start in row 10 with no driver lined up beside 19 drivers. Will take our grid here tonight. So we are going to jump on. No pressure. We're going to jump on N. Coulon here. He's about the mid-pack driver, so obviously for those of us that watch the broadcast every week, we know that that's what we do just to monitor the first couple laps of the race from the mid-pack, so we can just try to catch all that great racing start action, especially here at Monza. We all know that turn 1 and 2 on race start could be a accordion effect domino bottleneck situation, so it's really going to come down to each driver heading into turn 1 at the start of this race on how this race is going to start out. And then from there they'll settle in, and then they got a second chicane. So you know, you think you just got to worry about turn 1 and 2. No, you got to worry about the second chicane on turns 4 and 5 as well. And again, same situation by then. It takes 2-3 laps really for the field to start to kind of sort themselves out at the beginning of a race here at Monza, and then, well, racing as usual. 2 mandatory pit stops here today. Tires and fuel are optional. 80 minutes. Grab those snacks, grab the bevies, settle in. We're in for a good run here tonight. Alright, so what we're going to see now is a virtual formation lap. So there is a virtual safety car situation here. So what happens is race control is in radio communication with the teams and the drivers. When race control is happy with how everything is lined up, they will prompt our leader, in this case Rapid Duck, our pole sitter, to start ahead, and they will all take off in order they qualified, single file around about 2/3 to 3/4 of this racetrack. I would say probably at about the time that we start getting into that final corner here at Monza, race control is going to prompt these drivers to line it back up in 2 by 2 in their qualifying order. From there, if race control is happy with how the lineup looks, they will of course drop that green flag, and we go racing for 80 minutes here tonight. Red flag plays do come into situation here under some circumstances. We're not going to get too deep into that. We haven't had one called yet this season. Fingers crossed. Monza can, if any track's going to get one, it definitely could be Monza. So it's all in the driver's hands at this point. It's all in the teams, the setups, and it is finale night. So welcome in, everybody. Hope you're all ready to get racing, because we're about 4 minutes away from green flag, maybe 5. Chicane 1 carnage, you figure? Yeah, I'm just going to reserve myself. This group has surprised me on very difficult racetracks before and had 0 incident in the first couple corners. So we'll see how the group handles it here tonight. There's a lot on the line for 2 of these drivers tonight, so For these two, our third and fourth place driver, it's ever so more important to not make the big mistake early in the race. It could end the championship run right there and then. However, 80-minute race, 2-stop strategy. It's a mandatory 2-stop. There is a little bit of wiggle room to recover from it. We have seen drivers recover quite well from that in the past here at Infinite Racing League. And if any one of those two drivers can make a recovery like that, it's definitely Johnny B banging or MxBloxom. So, I mean, all we can do is wait and see. We got Josh Hart up here tossing it in the mix here as well, sitting there in second place, showing he's got some pace in that Audi around this track as well. And Rapid Duck just seems to be in a whole different level here today around Monza. He was easily a second faster than Josh Hart in qualifying, so it is going to get interesting. It's going to get interesting. So we're almost there. 20 seconds away. It looks like race control is satisfied. We got a green on the track there, and that's wonderful news. So we're going to be on board with a Ferrari driver here today, and the rule is once these drivers pick their car for the season, that's their car for the season. If they make a change to a manufacturer, or in this case with the update drop to the new versions of cars, they had to give up all their earned championship points and start from scratch. Some of these drivers have just opted to make that change just last round, opting to give up all their points just to get a little bit of information on that car before the next coming season. Last of the late breakers going into T1. Last one, oh yeah, it could be, absolutely. For the viewers, you know, the viewers, hey, we like to see cars spin and wreck, but well, the officials, not so much. But this is Monza, baby. These guys are used to this here. These race officials, these track crews, they are top notch. So, I'm not sure what's going on up ahead there, but we got a driver in the runoff lane, so that's interesting. Alright, so when we get probably through the second chicane and start heading out of the Lesmos, we'll probably start seeing a few things. We'll start seeing these drivers swerving side to side, accelerating hard, braking hard, doing all kinds of funny things with that race car. What they're trying to do is they're trying to heat up their racing brakes, and they're trying to get air pressure and grip into those racing rubbered tires. What that does is hopefully when they start the race, they have a little bit more traction going in and out of the first set of corners, and of course the brakes are working at full capacity. So in ACC, typically dragging the brakes on your formation lap actually works really well at warming the brakes up. You don't want to heavy drag them, obviously you don't want to wear them down too much right before the race starts. And a side by side, not aggressive swinging, but just gentle motion and a little bit of hard accelerating will help with, of course, getting that air pressure buildup. However, you can't expect that you're going to have optimal racing temperature tires when you're only rolling around the track at 70 miles an hour. You can only do what you can do. So, and you can see it bottles up the pack a little bit as the drivers start to do their warm-up routine, I like to call it. So far so good. Race control is really happy with what they're seeing here. We still got that green flag up top, so I don't think we're going to see him go 2x2 through Ascari. We're going to get the call from race control after the Ascari sector. I'm assuming probably somewhere in towards the final corner. So we're still single file here. Oh, here we go. Nope. Rapid Duck is just getting those tires warmed up. He wants to get a good clean runaway here, and you can see he's really working it hard. So let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do. Welcome in everybody on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to do us a favor, you haven't done so already, like, share that page up. A couple free things that we can do, and all it does is it just helps us grow our pages. And if you have done so, of course, we appreciate the extra support right off the bat. And if you love the content and you're not following the pages, you want to become a member for free, all you gotta do is hit that follow on Facebook or that subscribe on the YouTube channel and turn on all your live notifications. Every time we go live with a race, you guys get a notification. And if you do miss the live broadcast, that's alright, because you'll know there's one waiting for you when it's convenient for you to catch up. I'm the host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Welcome in. Family-friendly broadcast for everybody tonight. 80 minutes around Monza, round 8, finale time. Bloxom or Johnny B? Who is crowned champion tonight? We're about to find out. As we're getting around the final corner, we're lining them up 2x2 in their qualifying order. And if race control is satisfied with what they see, they are going to drop a green flag. It is Cody B at the house saying, "Send it, boys." Oh, somebody's going to send it. Somebody always sends it. Alright, we are rocking. We are rolling. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Kick them tires, light them fires, let's go racing. You can see brake balance and throttle. We can't see how much fuel they have. No, Chris. Alright, we are green, and here we go, 10th place. Dropping down a spot here, 3 wide coming into the chicane. This is nothing unusual here at Monza. Everybody's just looking for a little bit of extra space for that race car. Ooh, that Mercedes coming in hot to trot, but it looks like he stays out of everybody there. Oh, he was hard on the brakes there. He was clenching those teeth together. He was holding onto that steering wheel. And, well, look at that, wouldn't you? All 19 of these drivers absolutely make it through alive. Jeez, I told you, this group, they're good at this. Method coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. Alright, so now that's only one part of it. Now we're coming into the second chicane. Oh, and we got an Audi down. We got 2 Audis down. That is, what is that, Johnny B? That is Johnny B coming off the track. Oh, the driver we're on, he gets sideways and gets help spin around. He's facing the wrong way in the racetrack, and here it is kicking off. And the second chicane creates the carnage we were looking for. So we've got 2 Audis off the track and a Ferrari here, and the race continues on. That is huge implications for Johnny B right there. Huge implications for Johnny B right there. That could be championship ending incident right there. Let's see how he recovers. Fluka in 5th, Pixel of Chaos in 8th position, Choco in 12th, Critical all the way up into 4th place. He's found a couple of spots off the race start there. He's kept himself out of trouble. Ooh, big hop over that curve there. Just keeps that car underneath of him there. Ooh, and we got one BMW going real wide there. It looks like everybody survives. Ascari can be just as dangerous as some of these harder corners here around the racetrack because you're going through at such a high rate of speed. It looks like there's lots of room there, but at the rate of speed these cars are going through there, not as much room as, as one would think. But here we go. It is definitely a Ferrari fest here in the series this season. And MxBloxom right now is in a pretty comfortable position for himself here. Johnny B's in 6th. He's just tucked in behind Fluka here right now. The bigger question is does he have any damage to that race car? If he has damage to that race car, he's in trouble. He's going to go on the outside of the Ferrari here, making a bold move as we come into the first chicane. And bada bing, bada boom, gets the job done. And Fluka is going to be looking at the back end of the defending champions gold bumper here. That was a beautiful move right there into T1 and T2 by Johnny B. Wow, he is a man on a mission right now, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for the number 1 car here tonight. I think he is fired up. That Ferrari hates the curbs here regardless of ride height. Ooh, we got Fluka going wide there a little bit as well. That's going to allow Tango 2 to get up on the outside of the second chicane. He's going to get a run now here as we head into the first Lesmo here. But he's in the outside part of the corner, so he's got to hang it tough there. And that's not easy to do, and Fluka's just going to edge him out there. And great job by Tango 2 there to keep that BMW enough out of the dirty air to make that stick on the outside in the marbles. And we got racing happening here today. Look at that. Look at this beautiful pack of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars all within proximity of each other. We're going to see some battling tonight, folks, and that's the way it should be here in a finale. It is a 2-stop mandatory race here this evening as well, so plenty of strategy to come into play here yet today. And GLR Seal, he is humming, he is coming in, taking advantage of a little bit of battling these two are doing here, but he's also bringing along Rigo and Racing Hobo along for the ride as well. Oh, Racing Hobo didn't get a good run through his car there. He fell a little bit off the back of the pack there, but Slipstream should take over here and pull him right back into the fight. And you can see he's closing in as they're coming into the corner. So it's, oh, we got a Mercedes going real wide. That Mercedes Rigo going to have to check up a little bit, and that's going to allow Racing Hobo to gain some more time on him here. So coming into that chicane, we might see a battle here from Racing Hobo and Rigo. Jump on board with Racing Hobo here, our 10th place driver. He's going to get some clean air. Rigo is going to go semi-defensive, and ooh, he goes deep into the corner. He's bailing. Contact between Tango 2 and GLR Seal. Rigo is just keeping that car on the wall, so it is going to be Racing Hobo moving all the way up into P7 right there. So 10th to 7th place in T1 and T2, and That's Monza, baby. And patience is but a virtue here. He's just collecting the pieces there as Rigo went in super deep. He did the right thing there, though, Rigo. I'm going to give him some props there because he knew that he had to just get the car in a spot where he wasn't going to get into any other racing car. So Rigo doing the right thing there. And at the same time, he manages to keep that Mercedes out of the wall. So he keeps it out of damage. He's losing time, but he kept the car safe. And that's what matters. He may have some flat spotted tires there. And that's something that he's going to have to deal with, him and his team. But Rapid Duck, fastest man on the racetrack, and already 4 seconds up the road. This man, he's looking good. He is absolutely putting the work in on this McLaren right now, and he is, like he said in our podium interviews last week in round 7 as our race winner, he's just getting ready for the next season with this McLaren. Sir, you can't park there. Nope, sure can't, but he sure did for a minute there. Alright, so call me CJ here in 14th position. Ooh, a little bit squirrely there as he was coming into the corner there, and he does a great job, but he's really on the back bumper of this Audi right now, and dirty air is no joke here, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's what we're seeing, a little remnants of dirty air here in this battle, but boy oh boy, we have great battles all over this racetrack right now. Flat spot and some hot tires, facts. Oh, and he's going to eat some curb there, so again, struggling under braking right now is Colby CJ with that McLaren at the moment, but ooh, a little bit of contact there. As you can see, these guys touching a little bit of tire there, but everybody's good, everybody's cool. Call me CJ's just holding on here. Scary Guy's just trying to get the job done, of course. Scary Guy's going to be on the outside coming into turn 1 and 2. However, we see, oh, a little more contact there again, and boy oh boy, these drivers, they're fighting hard here tonight. This is a battle for 13th and 14th position. Oh, we got Joko. Oh, compromised position. Scary Guy just clipping him there. That creates a little bit of contact in behind from Call Me CJ. No, Call Me CJ gets through, so Call Me CJ grabs a spot there. Scary Guy just clipping Choco there, caught up in the chicane, and I'm not sure what's happened to Choco there. Maybe an issue with that Ferrari, and just absolutely dead in the worst possible spot, right on that inside second apex of the chicane there. So tough one. Johnny B all the way up into 5th place. Right now he is trying to track down Critical Basilico in 5th place. It's a 1.5 second gap as they head towards the Scar. He's got Seal and Hobo right in behind chasing. Let's see if he can catch up here. We've got Bloxom currently sitting in 2nd place. He is in the spot he needs to be right now. If this race were to end here, he is champion. Simple, plain, cut, dry. John coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. Hope you're feeling better, my dude. Hope your rest has brought you a little better health, my man. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a disconnect issue here. We have seen that last week as well. We had 2 drivers disconnect from the lobby, so that could be what it was. It could be he was just about to disconnect, and the car was just sitting there frozen on the track. We've seen that before here in ACC. So Josh Hart here. Now this driver started in P2 at the beginning of the race, and you can see he's one of the Audis with some damage on his car there. Oh, he's going to float really wide there, so maybe again damage related potentially. You can see the left side of that race car really has well, a lot of damage on it, but sitting in 9th place here currently. He's holding his own still. We know he's got pace, so 2-stop strategy here. There's lots of time to see how these drivers handle the strategy moving forward. Now, some driver strategies may be changed due to the amount of damage their car is suffering. Of course, the longer you continue to run these cars with that damage, the more the damage could affect your car in that longer stint as well. Scary Guy and what is it, Coulon here. Oh boy, and a little bit of contact there from Coulon on Scary Guy, and both these drivers got to get themselves turned around. Big hop over the curb there, and it has been a tough race start for Scary Guy for you in that Audi here today. JDR is coming into pit lane here very, very early, so Ian is also in pit lane here very early, clearing one of those stops now, maybe for damage, or maybe this is strategy. We got Cletus here in 3rd place. You can see Bloxom is just up ahead, and Johnny B is just on the back end of this battle here as well, so not sure. Critical's trying to get around Cletus, so side by side headed into Ascaria. This is tough to do. No, Cletus backed out of that. He wanted nothing to do with that. Critical's going to go up into 3rd place, and sometimes it's about the smart racing decision over the battle, and that is exactly what we saw there. Cletus made a very smart racing decision, just backed out enough not to lose too much time and not force that through 2 by 2, and that could be a difference maker for these 2 drivers come the end of the race here. Got a long way to go, but the rest and tons of water is helping. Still halfway to death, though. Well, halfway is better than full way, my guy. I'm glad to hear you're slightly feeling better anyways, my dude. Whew, we got battles all over this racetrack. These guys are keeping us on our toes here tonight, and that is definitely how we like it here. We like lots of action on the racetrack, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? Alright, we're sticking with this pack here for a minute. This is a good battle happening right here between these guys. And I mean, there's huge implications. Oh, someone picked up a pit lane speeding penalty. Yes, sir. Mr. Ian Greener, the Porsche driver that we just seen in pit lane there, stop and go for 30 seconds from race control there. So that insult to injury is a penalty for that driver. So an extra pit stop for him here today. Coulon now in 14th place, and you can see a little bit of damage on the front end of that Ferrari. Him and Scary Guy for You still battling it out. I think he gave that position back here at some point throughout that lap, which is fantastic. We love to see that, but did the right thing. He didn't stop in a dangerous part of the racetrack. They continued on and then sorted that out as they continued down the racetrack, by the looks of it anyways. Fluka here in 8th place. He is tucked right in behind JDR right now, who has made a pit stop. So a couple drivers with early pit stops here. JDR has probably benefited more than poor Ian Greener. You got the stop and go, 30-second stop and go penalty from race control for speeding in pit lane, which is exactly a correct assessment there. You can see Fluka just get around JDR. JDR just letting off the throttle just a tiny little bit right there, just to let that lead lap car through. So that's all it takes. As we head through Ascari there, ooh, little rendering issue there from our camera. We got Pixel of Chaos here. He's sitting in 15th. Critico in 3rd place here, and this front pack is still uber tight here. So we're going to see Ian go and serve that stop and go 30-second penalty here right now. That was that Porsche driver diving into pit lane there. That is our driver that needs to clear that penalty. They get 3 laps to clear those penalties, so he's just going to come in, he's going to clear it right away. Oops, my bad, team, ain't going to fight it, serve it, and continue on with your race. Best just to get it out of the way and not argue with race control unless you got a clear-cut case. The Ferrari looks good. It's definitely very strong around Monza here. All right, Johnny B and Cletus battling here now in behind. Let's see if we can get to that battle here. Come on, come on. There we go. Johnny B and Cletus. This is position for 4th or 5th place. Johnny B needs to make some distance up here. He's going to go up the inside coming into the chicane, but he doesn't have the position. It's going to be Cletus that's going to stay out in front, and boy, look at that Ferrari zip around that corner, but the Audi just absolutely up to the challenge here. Johnny B is putting some pressure on here, Cletus, but just a little bit of a gap there right now, about 2.5, 3 car lengths. Just enough for that slipstream to start playing into a factor, but also just enough for Cletus to potentially hold the charge off from Johnny B, depending on how Ascari goes for these two drivers. This is going to be a crucial sector for Cletus and Johnny B as they are trying to toggle for 4th or 5th place position. Now Johnny's oh right, we got that penalty cleared by race control there. I just seen the message come up on the side of the screen there, so our stop and go penalty from our 16th place Porsche driver has been officially cleared here via race control. So the drivers are on point as always here at the Infinite Racing League. And Johnny B is getting a run here, but again, that just enough of a gap there from that Ferrari up ahead not to be able, not allow Johnny B to try and get a move done here coming into the final corner. So Johnny B is working hard here. Let's see if he can make something happen coming into turn 1 and 2. But this is a healthy potential battle for 4th or 5th place. Is Johnny also just maybe chilling and sitting behind his Ferrari right now, letting the Ferrari kind of pull him around the racetrack? There's a couple of things that could be happening here. Toying with the idea of picking Audi Evo for Roving Island. Hey, that would be one of my top choices for me personally, just because it's a car I know better than a lot of the Group 3 cars right now. So I feel you on that, Aaron. I feel you on that. Alright, 0.4 is that gap, so Cletus, he's not a slow driver himself either. He's a pacey driver, so Johnny B's got his hands full here trying to find his way around that Ferrari. I mean, Bloxom, he's cruising. Right now, Johnny B's 2.2 seconds behind Bloxom, but Bloxom has Critical Basilico really starting to charge up here on him now as well, so a healthy battle for 2nd and 3rd, and a healthy battle for 4th and 5th, and I mean, Rapid Duck's just gone 8.3 seconds up the road already. He has opened up a massive gap up on the rest of the field, and I mean, he was a second faster in qualifying. Not surprised to see it. We're on lap 7. He's got 8.3 second lead, indicative of his qualifying pace for sure. So his race pace is absolutely just as good as that qualifying pace, it seems like, and the drivers better look out for that man next season, because he is proving some dominance with that McLaren. and MxBloxom is doing a good job of holding off Critico here right now, but he made a little bit of a mistake coming through his car right there. You can see the run that Ferrari got on the Audi right there. And Bloxom doing the smart thing here and defending, and the two drivers in behind with Johnny B and Cletus are going, yes boys, right on, battle it up a little bit. And you can see Bloxom, oh, there we go, and that could be racing damage right there for MxBloxom on that Audi, and Critical gathers the car back up, so, oh, that is super, super unfortunate right there, as they got into each other in the final corner right there, and that might have to also be something that race control is going to have to take a look at the end of the race as well. But oh boy, it is getting spicy on Monza. Hey, well, you never know, Aaron. You never know, dude, right? There we go. We got a battle there. Cletus. Oh, Cletus has to take the runaway lane there. Oh, boy, we got a Ferrari off the track. Throws a barrier on the racetrack. Hopefully, the track officials get out there and get that thing out of the way as quickly as possible. Boy, oh, boy, things have gotten spicy here all of a sudden. As the Bloxom is still hanging on the second place there. Critico now moves up into third. Cletus falls back into fourth. And Johnny B is still sitting there in fifth place. And, you know, he might have been smart right there by just laying off of that. It got a little bit messy there. Oh, boy, and we got contact. And, oh, boy, Johnny B squeaks through. And that puts my MxBloxom now on the back foot of Johnny B. And Johnny B is now up in fourth. And MxBloxom sitting in fifth. And MxBloxom has had contact twice in this lap with two other drivers. Oh, this is a tough lap here for MxBloxom. Lap 8, not Bloxom's friends here. But, Johnny B's only one spot ahead of Bloxom right now, and he needs more than that as well. So the Bloxom's still currently in a good position to take championship, but boy oh boy, he needs the race to start falling in his favor just a little bit here today. Whew. All right, Josh Hart here in 9th place. I tell you, these drivers, they keep it spicy right to the end of the season, and that's for sure. Josh Hart here in 9th place. He qualified second here today, and had an early race incident, fell down and still sitting in 9th place here. May have a potential damaged race car to some extent or another here as well. Scary guy for you. We've seen him have a rough start to his race here, but he's doing what he does, man. He's in here, he's putting in the seat time, and he just keeps going, and that's what it's all about. And you know, eventually you find yourself competing more and more and more as time goes on. So you just keep doing what you're doing, my dude, because it's working, my guy. It's working. Don't sweat the small stuff, and you just got to keep pushing. Alright, JDR here in Lamborghini, and we love the Lamborghini. We love the Lamborghinis. So the last quarter is parabolic, but I had it mistaken for parabellum, which translates to prepare for war, but I like it though, because you normally have to fight for a win out of that corner. It's a good point. It is a good point, Chris. That's a good point. Thanks for the heads up on the corner name, too. So you can see JDR get the blue flag waved here as Regal in 11th place is catching up. Now, these guys have been really good about the blue flags. He's not just going to pull over here and let him go by. He's going to wait till Regal catches up, and then as soon as there's an immediate safe opportunity, he'll just do what we've seen him do and just let off the throttle and let that lead lap car go through. So Regal's having a good race here, currently sitting in 11th place as well. Ian Greener here, he had to stop and go penalty a little bit earlier. He's sitting in 17th out of 19th drivers that started the grid here right now. We have one driver already in behind pit wall, so one retired driver here today. Cletus is up into 3rd place here. Critico's up into 2nd now because of, well, the shenanigans up front here. And it's Johnny B in 4th and MxBloxom in 5th. Now, that's only separated by 5 seconds. We'll have to keep monitoring that gap. There's a good suspicion that MX is going to have some damage on that race car, and that's going to cost him in pit lane as well, because he's going to have to fix it if he wants to maximize his pace around here. We got Coulon in 15th position, new driver here, and he looks good around the racetrack here. He just had a little bit of an incident early on in the race, but he's got that car sorted out, fixed up, and one of those pit stops cleared as well while he was at it. Fluka in 8th place. And 80-minute race, I suspect we'll see pit stops at about 30-60, if I had to guess. This is just guessing. This is just me guessing. We're just about 19 minutes into this 80 minutes here so far, so we have a long ride to go and a long journey around Monza here so far today. Pixel of Chaos, he's in 14th position, and these guys come out with different painted cars every week. We love it. They look great. We got the nice purple, red, and green scheme rolling here on this car. That's a little bit different of a paint scheme here that we've seen throughout the season as well. So we always love seeing the painting creativity of the community. And it's limited what you can do with ACC, so it's fun seeing the different combinations that the drivers come up with. Critico here in 2nd place. He's a quick driver. He's going to be hard to reel back in here from Johnny B and Bloxom now. Bloxom now has Cletus in between him and Johnny B, so Johnny B is starting to make the charge here, and it could potentially currently be a points tie right now even. as it sits right now. So it is getting that tight here, Chad. It is that close. It is that close. Those two drivers' races matter tenfold today, and the amount of distance between those two drivers and who's ahead of who really does matter on who's taking home championship today. It's going to be close. It is going to be close. Seal here has just been having a good, consistent, solid, keeping himself out of trouble race for the most part here. I think he got caught up a little bit in one of those incidents. He was just a victim, a collected car in a sense, but he managed to come out fairly unscathed. He's found himself in 6th place here. Racing Hobo in 7th place. He's having a good race for himself here today as well. And a silver driver here as well. So the white drivers are essentially pro drivers, and the silver drivers would essentially be a kind of pro-am drivers, I guess, in a sense here in ACC, if we're going to break it down into split style skill levels based off their, of course, scoring system. In ACC, they have quite an extensive scoring system, how they determine what that driver's rating is, of course. Rapid Duck here is in 1st place, and we're just waiting for that timer to click here. 12 seconds on 2nd place. Just continuing to just put seconds in between him and the rest of the field here. Call me CJ, 12th position. We got Rigo here in 10th. He has Josh Hart looking up the inside here. Josh clearing a pit stop here? No, he's just having oh, we have a is that, what is that? Oh, it's a BMW. It looked like it's Tango 2 there. Oh, Tango 2, that car looked like it took a massive hit there too as well. As I'm sure we're going to see him jump right into pit lane there, but boy, that looked like a tough hit. And there you go, you can see that yellow BMW. He is making his way to pit lane. He's going to get some work done to that car. That looked like a tough hit. The 88 of Josh Hart here, he's got some damage on his car. We're starting to see the pit stop sequence, so not at 30 minutes in, we're seeing it at 20 minutes in here. So alright, I take it all back. Scary Guy in 14th. We've got JDR in 16th. Greener, Mr. Ian, and you can see that Porsche seeing some better days here as well. So tough race for Mr. Greener here. We've got Cletus in 13th position. We've got Coulon in 15th. Fluka, where is Mr. Fluka? Oh, there he is. Camera guy lost him. As he coming up into his car out of the 2nd Lesmo there. So he's chasing Racing Hobo. The gap is 3.1 seconds. Heading into Ascari, let's see if he can gain or loses here. Right now, he looks like he's gained about a half a second out through Ascari there. Ferrari versus that BMW, and still gaining. So he got a good run through Ascari there, and he's going to eat a little bit of time off of a 6th place driver up in front. So, 2, 3, 4 more laps like that, and all of a sudden he's going to find himself looking at the rear bumper of that race car. We got Pixel of Chaos here in 9th position. He's in no man's land right now. He's just chilling. He's got to worry about the leader coming in on him here right now. The leader is just on an absolute blazing fast pace here today, and it's his to lose at this point already. Pit window, first set of strategies coming into play. Alright, and you can see it here. Oh, Tango 2 and Critical racing out of pit lane here, and it's going to be the BMW driver just nicking out Critical there. So the BMW driver is just going to slot out of pit lane ahead here, and it's going to race on for these two drivers as Tango 2 is actually a lap car now. So Critical's got a lap advantage on him, so Critical's actually going to retain the position coming out of pit lane, but Tango 2 does beat him out of pit lane. Good stop there, looks like, from Team BMW there. We got Seal here in 4th position. We've got Hobo in 5th place with Fluka right in behind. This man, well, I mean, hey, this man's just cruising. Alright, we got Rigo catching up to Coulon. We've seen some lights flash in there, a little bit of driver communication here. What that is telling him, we're not 100% sure. We've got Stefan coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. How you doing, my guy? Yeah, it is. It's very, that's the realistic part about ACC, or even right down to the pit stops, the tunes, the air pressures, the brakes, everything. You got to make those decisions when you come into pit lane. So Rigo is closing in Coulon here in that Ferrari. So yeah, you can see the flash there. I'm not sure if that's just, hey, let's work together, or hey, I'm coming. I think I got pace on you. You should let me by. I'm not sure exactly. what that signaling is, but it's just speculation. No, here we go again, and that Mercedes under braking, getting a little bit squirrely, and he just can't get the move done. The Ferrari could go in just a little bit better than he could there. And he's got second place driver Johnny B really closing in. Bloxom is 7 seconds behind Johnny B right now. Bloxom is in third place, has secured up that extra point gap he needed to secure up to hold down the championship here so far, but this race is far from over. We still got an hour remaining. Made the mistake on strategy on single player endurance races. Yeah, been there. Paymate coming in with that thumbs up. Legend. Alright, Mercedes is trying to find his way around Coulon here, and then they've got lead lap traffic putting pressure in on them. Now, these two are entitled to that battle for 11th and 10th place, so it's up to Johnny B to try and find a safe way around. And with everything on the line right now, do you even want to risk getting involved to try to get around these two drivers while they're battling? Decisions. It's early in the race. Bloxom is right there. I mean, obviously that's the next car in the review mirror, and he's got a tough decision he's got to make here. There we go. So is it going to go side by side through his car? No, he just took a look. I think he was just trying to see if Coulon was going to make a reaction move there. Mercedes made it look like it. Here we go. It looks like Johnny B's setting up, and he goes up the inside coming out of his car. He's good to get the job done. Lots of respect given right there by Rigo as well. But he went a little wide, and Johnny B got the run there, and he has put himself in between. So Johnny B is slowly but surely just trying to navigate between these two guys without interfering with their battle. He did a great job right there. He picked his moment, and he absolutely made sure it happened right there and then. So kept the car safe, got around the driver. Nobody got hurt there, and great move there by Johnny B to get around Rigo. So Johnny B just putting some distance in between him and MxBloxom, current championship points leader here in our final race of this series. Speaking of, it's MxBloxom here as he just comes across that start-finish line, and it is, I'm just waiting for the gap here, 5.5 seconds from Johnny B. So looks like he's closing it a little bit here. We got Josh Hart, cleared one of his pit stops. Now he's come out in 12th place. Scary Guy's in 15th. JDR here in 14th as well. Now remember, 19 drivers started the grid, so some of these drivers in a pretty good spot here. Ian Greener in 16th after serving a stop and go penalty due to speeding in pit lane, so he has still managed to have a decent race here for himself with all things considered. We've got Cletus here in 17th, and it looks like he's been struggling a little bit here and behind the wheel of the Ferrari around Monza today. You can see he just doesn't quite look comfortable yet behind the wheel of that number 41 car, but he sure is giving it his all, that's for sure. Alright, back to this battle here. Johnny B starting to get the pressure put on Coulon here now, so I would just assume we're going to see a similar style move happen here maybe as we're heading into Ascari. No, he's going to let it by through Ascari. That was, he just pulled over, got out of the way, let him go through, and we're going to see some glitching happening here. Not sure what we're seeing there. I think we're seeing a disconnect is what we're seeing there. That was, will you ever see a McLaren do that, chat? Or Ferrari? 149.622 from Rapid Duck there. That was, not sure what lap that was, but it is fastest lap on the racetrack right now. We're going to see if we can find that driver here. Nope, that was a disconnect. We lost another driver. We're down to 17 here, so bizarre little situation happening right there. And oh boy, Bloxom right there. Heavy damage on that race car. He's going to bring it in. He's going to get it fixed. And oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. Johnny B and Bloxom have both had their incidents here in this race today, and apparently it is not over yet. Josh at 11th, you see just getting around Ian there. The guy's doing a great job. Blue flag car's doing a great job getting out of the way of the lead lap cars so far from what I've seen. We have Fluka who's up ahead of Scary Guy. Scary Guy's got some fresh nose on that car there, so he's ready to rock and roll now again. We got JDR here in 12th place, and we got a little bit of separation in the field here now. Trying to find us a couple cars really close together here, but we're not really seeing it right now. All right, well, let's jump on board with Rapid Duck, our current leader of the race, our pole sitter, the fastest man on the racetrack right now, looking to take the whole trifecta here on the race. We're 50 minutes in. We're almost halfway through this race here now. Doesn't quite surprise me. Holy baby. There's a way to do pitch for just repairing damage, but it's harder than pressing some buttons. You just gotta have a preset for it. Just gotta have a preset for it. I know I struggle with that still too myself, but that barrier's still kicking on the racetrack there at the end of turn 2, and those barriers are no joke. They can do some damage to the race cars, so track officials not opting to call a caution to remove that barrier. I guess they determined it's enough out of the way that it's not going to, it shouldn't affect anybody coming around the racetrack. That's a bit of a surprising call. You can see how clean Rapid is here. I mean, we're gonna watch Rapid here. I think he's actually tucked right in behind MxBloxom right now, the 7th place driver. Our championship points leader here as we come through Lesmo 1 and heading into Lesmo 2 here right now. And you can see he's just nice and smooth. He's not forcing anything. He's very patient on the throttle, and he's just kind of letting the car do what the car does here. Let's go. Alright, so here we go, heading into his car, and you can see he's not really forcing anything. Oh, we had Tango 2 having an issue there, and he's still having an issue there as, oh, he's coming onto the track. He's going to have some dirty tires there. He's going to be throwing some dirt at the race leader here, and the race leader's just going to use him for a little slipstream and continue on his way here. Ooh, he gets a little bit wrong there, so a small mistake there from Rapid Duck, but 17 seconds is the gap to 2nd place driver Johnny B here right now, and Rapid Duck is just chilling. He's just chilling right now. He stayed out of the slipstream there just long enough to not actually get onto the back of the Audi of MxBloxom in front of him here, and that's not a bad idea here. Keep the car safe through the technical sector and worry about trying to make up that ground on the more flowing sector where it's a little bit easier to get around a driver. Call me CJ coming into pit lane. A little bit of damage, a little bit of crumpling on the hood there, a little bit of scarring, but nothing too major there. Looks like the team did a pretty good job patching that up if he when he stopped earlier there. So not opting to replace the nose on that car or the clip on that car at the moment. Rigo's back into 9th place here now from the Mercedes. He's just been rocking and rolling, doing his thing. Johnny B, he's sitting in 2nd place currently. So this is going to be interesting. MxBloxom has pit. Now, he had damage to his car, so I think it was more of a forced pit than a scheduled pit for him. It's going to be interesting to see how that time difference relates from him to Johnny B now. When Johnny B makes his first pit stop, and it's going to be interesting to see how they opt to use that 2nd stop in the strategy to try and gain time on each other. And I mean, right now it's Bloxom and Rapid Duck, both very quick drivers. It's going to be interesting to see when Bloxom decides to let Duck through, and I mean, it's just going to be a matter of time when Duck finally reels him in here potentially. It's clearly this driver's just on a different level at Monza here today than the rest of the field. I mean, he's lapping the whole field here, so. Scary guy goes deep coming around the final corner there. He manages to keep it on the track though, but you know he's going to have some dirty tires going into those marbles and pit stops being made. So Bloxom's strategy coming in. Chat, there we go. We're wondering how he was going to work that out. He's going for a supreme undercut. Going to clear that last stop and go the rest of the way through this race. And you can see the minds, the teams, they're coming up with everything they can right now for Bloxom and Johnny B to try and lock down that championship this season. And boy, oh boy, is it close. Oh my. We're going to be in for an interesting race finish tonight, I think. I haven't broke down the points yet, so I don't actually know how close it is, but I know it's that close. Will be like the IndyCar Iowa race, all top 5 being lapped. Duck with the fake into pit lane. Using that slipstream, baby. Using that slipstream. JDR all the way up into 11th place, and you know, just the patience and sticking to the game plan is paying off for this driver. He's trying to look at a top 10 here right now. I'm not sure where 10th place is up ahead of him at the moment, but he's got a race leader all up in his grill, that's for sure. We got Ian Greener here. He's got his car fixed up. You can see a nice new front clip on that Porsche as well. A little bit earlier, you can see the hood really tore open on there. Must have gave some radiator damage, because in these GT3 Porsche race cars, especially the MR cars, the Audis, the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, they have the radiators and the cooling systems in, well, where the engine would be normally in most cars that we're used to seeing. So instead of there being an engine there, that's where the batteries and the radiators and the cooling systems and a lot of the components of the race car are. It's the engine is sitting in behind the driver, essentially. Cletus in 15th position here, and uncharacteristic for this driver, just having a little bit of a tough race here today. Maybe still getting a feel for this Ferrari 296, but a little bit off pace in my opinion from what we've seen in the past from this driver. In that BMW, he's very solid, very quick, and always fighting up at the top 5, top 10s. Just not having a great day at Monza here today, you know? That's racing, it happens. Fluka sitting in 7th place, showing great improvement this season from last season, having a good race here, but big gap now from him to the 6th place driver. I can't even see him in the timing lists, so it's definitely over 12 seconds at least, as I believe that's Johnny B coming up in behind. So 2nd place driver catching up to Fluka here now. Pixel Chaos. Oh boy, you can see that car, it hurts right now. You can see how tore up that Ferrari is as we come through Lesmo 2 here. And oh boy, you can see that the suspension on the right hand side is really yanking that wheel, sitting there in the cockpit. Let's go jump on board and see what this driver's dealing with here. Just to keep this thing in a straight line, look how hard he has that wheel turned to the right, ladies and gentlemen. He is not getting a whole lot of left camber and toe out of this car right now. This thing will turn like nobody's business around these right-handers, but boy, oh boy, you can see how broken this race car really is. He's going to try and let Seal go through here, and behind him our number 555 driver. He is for position. That is super unfortunate for Chaos here. He's having a great race. And look at that, steering wheel just cocked straight to the right to get this thing in a straight line. This car will not turn to the right here. He is absolutely limping this thing to pit lane, and that's exactly what we're going to see here. He is going to get this thing into pit lane and get this car fixed up. That was a massive hit, and you can see the struggle of him. Oh, and then there's a big incident coming into pit lane as Rapid Duck was flying in, and he collects up Pixel of Chaos. Oh my, wow, that was a little bit of a miscue right there from our race leader. And well, that's going to cost him some damage. Oh, this driver he is stricken right now. He cannot get this car turned around. That is, oh, chaos, bro. We feel for this driver. He's going to have to get a tow into pit lane. That's going to cost him 3 minutes in pit lane. Oh, that you hate to see it, chat. You hate to see that. Oh my, race control is going to be busy post-race tonight, without a question of a doubt. Here, lots to look at in this race tonight. I think fuel system is in front of the MR car, so the handling characteristics changing are definitely there through the stand. Oh no, Austin Powers moment. It happens. Rapid just unaware. Maybe potentially that Chaos was heavily damaged there, and just the car was barely under him there, and just came in a little too hot to trot, maybe. But oh, that was a heavy hit. That means Rapid's going to have some massive damage on the front end of that McLaren. He's going to have to sort out now. That's not ideal for him either, to continue to charge in the lead of the race. Oh, and Seal. Heavy damage on the front end of that BMW here in 3rd place. Boy, these drivers have been struggling with Monza here today, but it is hot out. The track temperature is crazy. Tires are going to be slippery here. They're wearing down very quickly. Spotter should have said slow car ahead or just driver error. We're not sure what happened there. Of course, we'll leave that to our amazing officials behind the scenes that takes care of all that business. I'm not a steward, so I'm not even going to speculate on the situation, but definitely a miscue there by our race leader, whatever the case may have been. Racing Hobo here in 4th place, and I mean, some of these guys that are just doing their thing and sticking to their strategy, it has been paying off for them. We got Seal in 3rd, we got Racing Hobo in 4th place currently right now. We've got Rapid Duck, who's come out in 2nd, which means Johnny B is going to be sitting in 1st place here, and that's where Johnny B ultimately really needs to be here in this race to really help his cause for that championship defend. Call me CJ here in 10th place. He's got Tango 2 in 11th, just 2.7 seconds in behind. Rigo, look at Rigo go. Go Rigo go, the Mercedes driver here in 7th place at BWT Mercedes there. He had one miscue here early on in the race. Did a great job at keeping himself and the rest of the pack out of trouble with his mistake there. That is some racing skill, and you know, that means paying off. He's being rewarded with a P7 currently on the racetrack. Johnny B finally making his first pit stop here, so the race leader is in pit lane. So let's get on with Bloxom here, and let us see where Bloxom comes out now in comparison to Johnny B. We need the live timing to change. Number 430 has a stop and go penalty for speeding in pit lane, and that is our Lamborghini driver JDR. So he's going to get a stop and go for 30 seconds for speeding in pit lane with that last pit stop. Highly unfortunate there for him. I think we had a track limit warning handed out to another driver there as well. I missed the prompt, but race control's on it tonight. They always are. Josh Hart here now back up into 8th place. He started 2nd on the grid here tonight and slowly but surely picking his way back through the field. Scary Guy's up into 12th place here, and he had a rough start to the race, but he, again, patience and just sticking to the strategy here is starting to pay off for him. JDR is kind of trying to close him in here a little bit, so might be a position here for 13th and 12th place, and of course Rapid Duck, our race leader, catching up to JDR here, but I do suspect we'll see JDR probably come into pit lane to serve that penalty when he comes around here. So as we come through Lesmo 2, we have 542 Audi of Scary Guy in 12th place. We've got 13th Lamborghini driver JDR, who does need to serve a penalty, and then the leader Rapid Duck up in behind. So a little bit of a incident coming into pit lane for our race leader. It's going to be interesting to see how that relates to his time from Johnny B. It's about 13 seconds, so it cost him 6-7 seconds here. Alright, and Rapid Duck is right there. JDR's let him through, so again, the blue flag car is just doing the right things as always. He's, you know, finding the right spot to let these lead lap cars through. Oh, big crash there from Greener, and oh, you hate to see it. That's going to be a very damaged Porsche. You can see some steam coming from the front end of that car. Hood very crumpled there. That might be a busted radiator for that driver. That means time in pit lane, unfortunately. Cletus here in 14th position, and he's been having a tough race here today. I'm not sure. It's just uncharacteristic of this driver. Fluka, 4th place, doing Fluka things here. Looked like was struggling a little bit there to get into the top 5, but starting to work out that strategy and finds himself currently sitting in 4th place. Critical Basilico is chasing 2.6 seconds in behind, and then a pretty big gap to Rigo. It's 15 seconds, so right now Critico is his biggest threat in behind. We have Pixel of Chaos, 16th position, doing his thing. Really unfortunate for that driver. Had to get a tow into pit lane from, well, pit lane. It just absolute craziness happening in this race today. Should be interesting to see how it all sorts out at the end of the day, but great racing nonetheless. JDR clearing that stop and go penalty here right now in pit lane, as well as Critical goes around there, so we'll be waiting for word from race control that is a-okay and everything's been taken care of there. Tango 2 finds himself sitting in a top 10 here currently as well, and there we go. We just have confirmation that JDR, our number 430 driver, Lamborghini driver, has cleared their stop and go 30-second penalty for speeding in pit lane. So good job to the Lamborghini team just to clear that up and get that out of the way, and let race control continue on monitoring the rest of this race. GLR Seal here in 3rd place, still with big damage on the front of this BMW here right now. You can see that hood's crumpled up a little bit there. You can see the splitter and the front grille there not exactly uniform as in when he put it on the grid to start this race here. So doing pretty good considering he's in 3rd place. That Porsche was riding them curves like he was a rodeo. Didn't go the full 8 seconds. I'll send 7-10 on the dismounts. 7 out of 10. Racing Hobo in pit lane, clearing his final pit stop. It looks like their car looks like it's in good shape, so it's definitely not a damage-related pit stop. It looks like that is a scheduled strategy pit stop here. Rapid Duck still has a pit stop to clear here as well. Johnny B is in second, 10 seconds in behind. So that incident in pit lane definitely cost the race leader some time. But with that being said, we know that the race leader has some incredible pace and lapping about a second faster than the rest of the field. So we really shouldn't have anything to worry about unless he gets himself into a little bit of shenanigans again at some point in this race. In his next pit stop, we got Nolander coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. Much love, my dude. We appreciate you. We got Scary Guy who's ducked in behind there. Scary Guy's in 11th place, so he's having a good race here tonight. Let's see if we can hold that down now. Oh, we got a driver pulling off the racetrack there. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe just letting the lead lap cars through before he continues on from pit lane, but a little bit interesting there. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. We've got Rigo now up into P6, so some of these drivers still owe a pit stop, so that will cost them position on the racetrack still, but I guess it depends when they choose to make that pit stop and how quick of a pit stop that really is. Johnny B is in second place. Johnny B just needs to keep it clean and tight here the rest of the way through, and he's going to grab himself a championship. And he's going to be two-peating here right now. The way things sit, he has enough to beat MxBloxom here and take the overall win, I think. But this race is far from over. We still got 34 minutes remaining. We're barely halfway through this thing, so anything can happen. The first half was crazy. It's not going to be any different in the second half. MxBloxom, speaking of, currently sitting in 7th place. He is 3 seconds in behind Josh Hart, who's currently sitting in 6th place, and there is a blue flag car in between him and that positional car as well. So MxBloxom has some work to do here, and needs a little bit of luck on his side here, as he's had a very rough race here today. And maybe just to push to try and win the championship. You know, sometimes it's just simple little mistakes, and it's all it takes. So Josh Hart in 6th. JDR is chilling there after his stop and go penalty, cost him some position. Still sitting in 12th though. Didn't cost him too badly. And MxBloxom working his way up to get around that car. So Scary Guy in 11th, JDR 12th, Ian in 15th. Cletus is not there. Where is he? There we go. There you go, camera guy. Get it right. Alright, coming out of the second, Lesmo heading into Ascari. So yeah, unfortunate to see this driver's having a rough day, but like I said, that's racing. Maybe the car's not 100%, maybe something's not quite right. This is the last round, you betcha, Chris. Everything is on the line here tonight, so right now Johnny B's maybe not gripping that steering wheel quite as tight, feeling a little more comfortable behind the wheel, and that might be what it takes for the rest of his drive home here now. But MxBloxom is no joke. I mean, that guy can drive. It's not over till that checkered flag drops today, let's put it that way. Fluka's up in the 3rd place here, sitting on a podium now. So Fluka doing Fluka, just picking away at the field. The very silent, friendly Italian car driving Fluka here, just doing what Fluka does, just continuing to progress, using strategy, using patience, trying to keep the car out of trouble, trying to minimize the mistakes. Doing a great job at holding Critical off for a large part of this stint here now, as we know Critical's a very quick driver as well, but that gap is starting to close. Critical is starting to put the pressure on here, so let's stick with this for a minute. Critical has cleared both pit stops as well, so I'm not sure what the communication between driver and team is, but I think if I'm in Fluka's position at this point, Tango 2 isn't a positional car. I'm letting Critical through if he gets a run on me out of Ascari here. You know what? I'm just going to give it a quick, tiny little lift, let him rip by, and I mean, just let him go. He's cleared both his pit stops at the end of the day. If I pit, he's taking that position anyways. It doesn't seem like it's worth battling out and costing the time for these two drivers to fight for that position. And you can see Critical goes up the inside here, and he's going to get the job done, and Fluka doesn't really fight him too much there. Fluka just holds his line, holds his pace, and just tries to stick as close as he can. So smart decision making right there, I think, by our number 18 driver Fluka, as that's what I would have done if that was me right now and behind the wheel of that car. Pixel of Chaos in 14th position, still owes a pit stop. Poor guy's been having a rough day. He's been having a rough day. Got Critico, as we just see, move up into 3rd place, getting around Fluka there. Tango 2's in behind there in 10th place as well. GLR Seal is in 7th place and still rocking and rolling around with that damaged BMW, so he's cleared a pit stop, and he's actually opting not to fix the damage on the race car, so they're purposely opting to run the car in that condition, which tells me that it's not really suffering too much from the cosmetic damage on the front of the car. So more cosmetic than it is racing pertinent, obviously, if they have yet to fix it. Racing Hobo got a little bit of war wounds on the back end of that car, but nothing too damaging there, and sitting in 15th place here currently. We have Rapid Duck, he's just flying. 14.4 seconds on Johnny B. He's opened the gap up by about another 3 seconds. It's the last time we checked that live timing, so good racing happening here from Rapid Duck. Even with the oopsies going into his first pit stop there, it seems like he's just got the pace today. Call me CJ, 9th place. I mean, he's got a positional car up ahead of him. There's definitely a goal up there. Here at 7 seconds up the road, and the next positional car is, looks like about 12 seconds away. He has nothing to worry about in behind. Right now, it's just to see if we can chip away at that Mercedes driver up ahead of us and keep taking that time down. He knocked about he actually knocked a good chunk away there. Looks like about 3/10 around that final chunk of the lap there. So we'll have to see if Regal can hold off the McLaren driver there. Johnny B, he's working at 15 seconds from Rapid Duck. Looks like he's gaining on Duck there, and it's actually a significant gain there. So Duck may have made a mistake in that sector there, because he just gained about a second. But Johnny B is doing a great job here, and the next position car is critical in 3rd place, and it's well over 30 seconds. But with that being said, those drivers have all stopped. They're clear. They're good to go. They're not forced to make another stop here. They have made their pit mandate, where Johnny B still has to pit. So does Rapid Duck. There's a couple drivers here that still owe that final mandatory pit stop here. Bloxom playing strategy here. He's tried to clear that. He's gone from 6th to 7th. Slowly but surely picking his way back up through the field. Josh Hart here is 5.5 seconds up the road. He is another driver that still owes a pit stop, so it will be at one more position from Bloxom to gain here if he can get close enough. Scary Guy's in 12th place. He's cleared his stops. He's cruising. JDR's in 11th up ahead, 14 seconds. JDR just needs to keep it mean, clean, and that Lamborghini machine rolling around the racetrack in a forward direction. He should be able to bring home P11 or better here today. Tango 2 is 21 seconds up the road. It might be a tough ask there. Oh, but boy, oh boy, is that timer dropping, and that tells me that Tango has made a mistake. We have no yellow flag on the screen here, so I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe Tango is in pit lane, and we're just not seeing it on our screen information, but boy, oh boy, is that time dropping. Fluke is coming around getting the blue flag. Wait, did you see that flag man put that thing away? He's like, wait a minute, that's 4th place driver. He's chasing down 3rd place driver Critical. It's a give and take a little bit here. 2.5 seconds is the gap right now. Pixel Chaos in 14th position. The camera doesn't want to show us, I guess. Critical's here in 3rd. And Fluke, like I said, 2.6 behind, and Johnny B quite a ways up the road. So going to come down to those pit stops here for some of these drivers to see if they're going to swap positions. No pit stop from Tango 2, just must have made a mistake. Oh yes, big time, you can see there, big damage on that BMW driver there, and JDR is going to grab that position there as well. The 50 line has been smashed out, obviously, with that Rapid Duck Pixel of Chaos coming together in pit lane entry there, and that's definitely something race control is going to take a look at. They take their pit lane very seriously, no matter where it is around the world, no matter what series it is you drive for. Pit lane is serious business. What's the pit delta? Enough for Bloxom to close in and have a run at Johnny. It's looking about 30 seconds at pit delta, maybe a little less. So we'll try to pay attention the next time one of our leaders jumps in, but it's going to be close. I think that there's only going to be maybe a handful of seconds separating the two once that sorts out. Racing Hobo in 15th. Rapid Duck still owes one here too as well, keeping in mind. So it depends what their fuel strategy is for the race. It depends if they're taking tires or not. All these things are going to add to the duration of their stop as well. So it's hard to say. It could be maybe just a 25-second stop because they're just literally stopping to stop, clear that stop and go, right? So hard to say. CJ here in 9th place. looking real good. Got Rigo in 8th position, and I think this may be the best race finish for this driver. He can keep this up here for the last 26 minutes of the race. We got a yellow flag up ahead of the driver here. We're keeping an eye on the track radar, but it must be fairly up ahead of the driver as it's already taken off the screen in front of us there. Johnny B has 38 seconds on Critico, so we'll use that as our gauge, because and I don't know when Johnny B is going to stop. He could be a last lap stop for this driver. Maybe feels like the time is starting to come down, or he's losing pace. He maybe make that stop. Maybe he's going to stop and rapid duck stops. It's hard to say. It depends what this team in the #1 Audi is thinking here behind the scenes as well. So only time's going to tell at this point. Little over 25 to go. I'm on the edge of my seat right now too. It's just anything can happen. Anything can still happen yet. There's still plenty of time for anything to happen yet here. 25 minutes is plenty of racing. We're just getting into a long sprint race here, and we got another driver going deep here. He's going to take the runaway. That was Tango 2 there. So just trying to get out of the way of the lead lap cars. I'm not sure what that was there, but definitely got out of the way. Scary guy here in 12th place. We got JDR. JDR at 11th. He's having a good run here today too for himself. He should be very pleased so far here today. Ian Greener's up into 13th. So remember, we started with 19, currently have 15. So we've had 4 drivers retire here in this round 8. So Monza has been beating these cars up. Fluka's in 4th place. He's one of the drivers that still owes a stop, and so is Josh Hart. They have 20 seconds on blocks. I mean, we got Tango 2. It looks like a drive-through penalty or a stop-and-go penalty there as well. That must be speeding in pit lane, so race control is going to ask him to come back in and pay an extra 30 seconds in his pit box for his indiscretion there. So Critico here in 3rd place and doing a good job. Josh Hart's the next closest driver. It still owes a pit stop. Critico's fight really is with Johnny B up in 2nd place, and does he have enough time on that driver? Johnny B is still a solid 38 seconds, so doing a great job at continuing to manage that gap from Critico's Johnny B. But and there we go, Tango 2 is going to come in and clear that penalty put down by race control. GLR Seal here in 7th place, and again with a damaged race car here holding out top 10 right now, so he's playing his own little version of strategy right now. Racing Hobo clearing a pit stop. Rapid Duck's going to go through. He's not going to stop yet. CJ is in pit lane, I believe clearing his stop. Rigo does not need to stop, so he's going to move himself up into 8th place here. Johnny B's in 2nd still. When is he going to stop? No, he's going to keep going. Bloxom is up into 6th place. Now he has a chance to grab 2 positions here with drivers that still owe pit stops up ahead of him. And both those drivers are not far enough ahead, I don't think, to stay ahead of Bloxom. So MxBloxom is going to get a little bit of help here, I think, from a couple of drivers opting to leave that strategy to the later part of the race. Oh, it's got to be feel like a decade here, not 100%, Chris, 100%. And you can see Bloxom's pushing here now. He's really taking every little bit of this racetrack. He is more than well aware of what is on the line. These drivers know the implications even bigger than I do, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Alright, so he's got to get around Ian there. He gets around Ian, no problem. That was a great job there from our Forest driver. He got around him pretty neat and tidy, actually. Josh Hart back up to 5th place here. So, you know, he started in 2nd. Something happened to him. He fell way back into the field. He's found himself sitting in 5th place. But again, still owes 1 more stop. So, and we'll see where he ends up. Should stay in top 10, though. Should stay in top 10. We've got Scary Guy here. He's having a good race for himself here in 11th place as well. It started off a little rough for him, but he's starting to get that car grooving underneath the racing seat of that Audi. JDR is at a top 10 position here now, sitting in 9th place. Call me CJ in behind 7.4 seconds in pit lane, clearing his final stop. Fluka in 4th place. Let's stick with Fluka here for a minute. At some point, these drivers are going to make that pit stop. What the question is when. Yeah, he went for a huge ride out of Lesmo too, unfortunately. He took a lot of that corner. He kept it together though. Alright, Critico in third place here, rocking and rolling and looking really solid here now. He's really settled into his car here. He's putting in some good solid laps. And just no pressure. We're just trying to gain time on the second place driver, first place driver, see if he can grab another position before the end of the race. 20 minutes left. We got a yellow flag up on the racetrack, and that is somebody in pit lane, I believe. So a little bit of misinformation from our race control flagman there, but I believe it was because of maybe a damaged car in pit lane, potentially. GLR Seal, he's in 7th place, and I don't even know where the next positional car for that driver is, but he is just in behind Johnny B there right now, 2 seconds in behind. We still have Racing Hobo in pit lane. We have Rapid Duck still owing a pit stop. Let's see if he takes it this time around as we come through Ascari on lap 31. 49.510 is fastest lap on the racetrack right now, set by, of course, our race leader and pole sitter. Doesn't look like he's going to be coming into pit lane on this time around. Call Me CJ is sitting in pit lane there. We've got Rigo sitting there in 8th. Johnny B, let's see if he opts to come into pit lane. He's still one of those drivers owing that pit stop, and at some point he's going to have to make this stop here. But obviously him and his team are in radio communication and will decide when they feel that stop is best to be made, and it's not this time around. So Bloxom, he's just sitting here and sweating bullets right now. He doesn't know what's going on up ahead of him. His communication obviously is whatever the team gets to him. We're gonna get your driver sound. Just give me a second, which means I gotta cut the race off for a split moment. Capture card is still acting up a little tiny bit. I apologize. We're back. All right. Yep. You betcha. Appreciate you, Chris. So it is Bloxom, and boy, he's got 38, 37, looks like 37 seconds gap there still. We don't know what Johnny's B's pit stop has in store in this final stop yet. We have no idea. We know it's very hot on the racetrack, and we know that's going to destroy these racing tires. So what these drivers have opted to do with their pit strategies is completely speculation on my part. We got 2 drivers in pit lane here now. As Josh Hart comes around, and he's gonna opt not to go into pit lane here either. So when are we going to see the last remaining drivers make that pit stop? It's going to be within the last couple laps of this race, I have a suspicion. We got Ian coming in. He's pulled his Porsche back into pit lane, and some of these drivers have had some pretty big hits, so the cars are maybe struggling, starting to show signs of the damage in the earlier parts of the race, and maybe just things are starting to not work like the drivers would expect at this point in the race. And Racing Hobo's still in pit lane, so that's interesting. Rapid Duck still owing a pit stop. Is he going to take it this time around? We'll have to wait and see, as he's just coming through the second chicane there. Getting ready to head into Lesmo 1. And Lesmo 2. First chicane, my bad. That was the first chicane. That was all mixed up, chat. Yay, now as he comes through the second chicane. So 17.7 seconds is the gap between him and Johnny B. But again, both these drivers owe a pit stop, so neither one really, I don't think, has an advantage over the other one in that sense, but we don't know what kind of pit stop these drivers have in store. Are they going to take tires? Are they going to take fuel? Are they just stopping for the sake of having to stop because that's the mandate this round? What is it exactly these drivers are going to opt to do is the bigger question. Alright, so Rabbit, that comes out of his car. He's gained about a half a second on second place driver Johnny B there. And heading into the final corner here. Let's see if he's going to set up for a pit entry here or not. It does kind of look like he might have been thinking about it. Nope. He had me fooled. He had me fooled. Ooh, wide exit there. Wide exit, and maybe the tire is starting to fall off that McLaren just a little bit here. Is maybe what is that? That's a sign of. We've got Rigo here in 7th place, having a fantastic race, finding yet another position. Seal is the next target, but 30 seconds up the road. Johnny B still owing that pit stop, and he's going to go through again. So it is Bloxom, and boy oh boy. What a battle for this championship this season. I mean, we thought Johnny B might have had this thing locked down by mid-season, and then the fireworks started, and the racing started, and here we are in round 8. Unsure who our champion is still at this point. Yeah, it could be Chris. You could be right. You could be right. It's hard to say. Josh Hart here in 4th place. Bloxom is chasing him. Now again, these drivers still owe pits, so Bloxom is guaranteed to gain, well, what looks to be 2 positions here, as he has been reeling these drivers in bit by bit as well as the stint wears on here. So we got Seal trying to get around. Scary Guy, this is a blue flag situation here. Seal takes that corner actually just a little bit shallow to try to get the run, but we see a little wiggle out of the rear end of that BMW there. Scary Guy for you is really just trying to give him the racing line there, and oof, almost gave it up there. Too much through the Lesmos, but manages to get him around. So Josh coming in, he's only 6.5 seconds in behind Fluka, but again, driver owes a pit stop yet. Ian's sitting in 12th place currently here. Got to get that car back out on track. Hopefully they can get that car sorted out and continue on the race here. We got Fluka holding that final podium position down, but looking to give it up to potentially Bloxom here. And has Bloxom done just enough tonight? Wow, I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Seal has moved himself up into 6th position here now, and this is another driver that might potentially grab some spots for drivers still owing that pit. I mean, we're 13.5 minutes basically remaining in this race, and still have a handful of drivers that need to make that final pit stop. Rapid Duck, our race leader, being one of them, our 2nd place driver Johnny B being one of them, and he needs minimum 2nd place right now. But if Bloxom gets around Fluka and oh my goodness, who's the other driver there? Who's our 3rd place, not 3rd place, 4th place driver, 5th place driver there? Fluka and our Josh Hart is who we're trying to think of. That's only 1 position between Johnny B and Bloxom, and that isn't going to be enough for Johnny B to take the championship. Johnny B would need to win the race with Bloxom in 3rd place, so I don't know if it's going to be enough. The dual short stopping strategy from Bloxom and a mistake-free final stint might be the key here to just securing that championship for him today. JDR's got a race leader starting to close in on him here. You can see JDR is just going to use the runaway lane there. He's going to let him through, and doesn't even want to go there. I mean, and you know what? Great decision making right there by JDR. All right, Fluka. I mean, the drivers are only going to have 4 more opportunities to make this pit stop before they're out of opportunities to make this pit stop. So we're going to see this stop coming soon from these drivers. If it's some of these guys could be leaving it to the last lap, and that is 100% valid and a-okay to do. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the call. If you find yourself you had a bad pit stop, then you might regret leaving it to the last lap. You know, I would be thinking about it right now, because then it gives me 2 or 3 laps to potentially fight back if I need to, because I gave up a position in that pit stop. That's just me. That's just me. It's gonna go around again. It's a matter of when, not if, when. At this point, MxBloxom, of course, takes 3rd place over from Fluka and Josh Hart when they do finally make that pit stop. Rapid Duck still owes one here as well. It's not this time around. Alright, Rigo is good. Johnny B, let's see what Johnny B here. A 20-second gap now to Rapid Duck. So, should have the race in the bag here today. Johnny B, fighting for his life, needs a little bit of help from the 2 drivers in between him and MxBloxom, and unfortunately for him, with them having to make another pit stop just like he does, not really going to get that help. Bloxom has already moved up into 4th place as one of those drivers has finally made their stop. So now it's just Fluka ahead that has to make their stop. So Bloxom already up into 4th position. Josh here in 5th, cleared that pit stop, didn't lose any other positions. Seal is still 27 seconds in behind. Scary Guy here in 9th position, JDR in 8th, Ian in 11th, and we're down to 13 drivers on the grid here. Oh boy. We've had 6 cars find their way behind pit wall here before the end of the day today, with just 9.5 minutes remaining. Are the rest of these race cars gonna hold on to the end of the race? Let's see what happens here. Mr. Joe Mercier coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. How you doing, brother? Bloxom, he's in the position right now to just, and I mean just, lock this title in. Yeah, the crew members better be on point. You are 100% Chris. This is most certainly shaping up to be a final battle pit stop for all of these drivers that seem to owe this pit stop still. Might have been the best call Bloxom could have made right there. That might have just been the championship deciding decision, to come in and take another pit stop after the first forced pit stop and just see what happens. That might have been the call of the race right there. Scary Guy up in the 9th, up in the top 10 right now. Definitely be, I think, a best finish for this driver here in the series this season. So that's something to be pretty happy about for sure. JDR in 8th place as well, having a great run here tonight. Ian, he's been sitting in pit lane for several laps here, still sitting in 11th position. So even sitting in pit lane, for them working on that race car right now, he's still going to score pretty good championship points here in the final round tonight as well. Fluka, he's running for his life. Bloxom is 17 seconds in behind. So Johnny B's really praying for some help here from Fluka, but I don't think that is a big enough gap to stay ahead of Bloxom here. So let's see if Fluka comes in now. Nope, Fluka's going around again. Alright, Rapid Duck here is still owing that pit stop. 7 minutes remaining, so we got about 4 laps left. 4 laps for the race leader, probably after he crosses, probably 3 for the rest of the field, judging by the looks of things. However, again, still a pit stop. That's going to cost some time on the track. So, is he coming in? Ooh, he made it look like it. He was teasing us right there. He was teasing us. Rigo here in 7th, gaining, I think, on, who is that up in front? Oh, it's Johnny B. Okay. Johnny B has cleared that pit stop, so alright, Johnny B said and done. So Bloxom is not going to catch Johnny B, but the gap is closed up by 18 seconds. So Fluke is only 13 seconds ahead of Bloxom. If that gives us any indication, that's not going to be enough for Johnny B to potentially tie and lock this thing up, and leaving it to race officials to decide who our champion is this season, because Bloxom's coming. Josh Hart's still in 5th place. He's had a good recovery drive here, and if we're going to talk about anybody having a great recovery here, it's definitely this driver today. Whatever happened to him at the beginning of the race put him right to the back of the field. He has clawed and fought and climbed his way back up into 5th position. So, really great job by him, and I believe this is the first race of the season for him as well. So, showing that he's got some good race pace and some good racing experience under his belt here on the track today as well. Ooh, JDR is going really wide there. You see Josh Hart's coming in and behind him. Ian's still in pit lane. Fluka has to make that pit stop. We're waiting for it. It's not coming. It's not coming this way. This lap. Tango 2's go, and Seal is in 6th place, and just not a whole lot doing. It's kind of come down to these pit stops to see how this race is going to finish here. It looks like so. Rapid Duck in the lead. I mean, he's cruising. He's got a massive lead, 30 seconds. He's still got a pit, but we've seen that he's not going to lose the full 30 seconds. So at this point, we know we're not going to see this driver take tires with 5 minutes left in the race. He's going to come around. It's going to be about 2 laps remaining for him with his pit stop yet. Regal's in 7th position. Johnny B. Fluka is 14 seconds in behind. Bloxom is 20 seconds in behind. Fluka's bleeding time to MxBloxom here right now. He continues to drip it away. He has just been pacing that car, and he has all of a sudden stepped on the loud pedal. He is not just taking a little bit of time out of Fluke up ahead. He's taking chunks of it. So let's see. Rapid Duck is almost lapped Bloxom here now at this point, 8 seconds in behind. So but Rapid Duck was a pit stop, so shouldn't end up getting lapped here. We got a little battle happening right there. We do. We got Tango 2 and Scary Guy gonna have a little fight here for potentially 9th and 10th place. So that's fantastic. We got a positional battle starting to close up here. A really wide entry into the final corner there from the Audi, and a nice tight line through there from Tango 2. And look at the time he gained on the back of that Audi coming through that final corner on such a better line. And oh, the Audi is aware. He is immediately on that defensive line as we run up into the final chicane, the first chicane here, turns 1 and 2. And let's see what happens. Oh, he's going to back out. He's going to give it to Tango 2 there. Oh, and then he makes a big mistake there. Oh boy, and well, there we go, chat. Oh, we got coming through right there. It's got Johnny B coming through. Tango 2's aware. Tango's aware. He lets him through. The Audi driver is aware. He lets him through as well. Tango 2 is going to take the position back. You can see him giving that position back. Again, he didn't mean to do that. And great job by those two. Great job. Sorting it out on the racetrack right there. GDR here in 8th place. Fluka making that pit stop. Here we go. Where is Bloxom? Let's get on to Bloxom. Come on. There we go. Currently in 3rd place as he comes around the line. That is going to put Bloxom in 3rd place. And that's not enough. That's not going to be enough for Johnny B. Oh boy. Oh boy. Fluke is 20 seconds in behind. Oh, that's it. I believe we are looking at our championship winner here this season. I believe is going to be an MxBloxom. So don't quote me on. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that should seal the deal here for MX, and he's going to very, very slimly hold on to that, as it didn't look like the cards were in his favor here today. But he made a call. The team made a call. They made a different strategy, and that strategy may have been the difference maker for holding the big trophy at the end of the season here. Scary Guy in 10th place. Oh, Tango made a mistake there. Oh, getting it out of the grass there. Scary Guy's going to get that spot back. You can see Rigo's coming around here. He's the lead lap car. He's not really too worried about messing around with forcing anything there. We got Flukas in 4th place, 25 seconds down the road from Block, so Duck still has to make that penalty. That pit stop, sorry. GLR Seal here in 6th. Tango 2 got himself into a little bit more trouble there after that little spin in the first turns there as well. So Rapid Duck is going to have to pit here. It's going to have to be now, or he's going to suffer a massive penalty here. So If he goes by pit lane this time around, he will lose the lead of this race due to not following the mandate. So there we go, the leader coming into pit lane. He's got a big enough gap here. I don't think he has too much to worry about. I don't think that Johnny B is close enough to take the lead away, but well, I guess we'll have to wait to find out. And you can see Johnny B is just coming around Lesmo 2 right now, so he's definitely not going to jump ahead of Rapid Duck there. So we're going to return to the garage here, and that's so we can get on board with the remaining 12 drivers on track here. Rapid Duck in pit lane. Johnny B is coming around here, and when he crosses that start finish line, it will be final lap for him as well. So let's see where Rapid Duck is. Rapid Duck's just coming out here, so yeah, not lots of time there. Rapid Duck fastest lap on the track here, as well as Johnny B here in second position, MxBloxom here in third, and then Fluka in fourth. So let's stick with Duck here, as he'll be our first driver to come across the start finish line to send off our GT3 Summer Series Part 1, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's only Part 1. Coming through the second chicane here now is our race leader, Rapid Duck, and he's cruising. He has had a pretty clean and efficient race. Clearly has some pace. Run to a scurry for the final time here this season, and absolute great race finish here at Monza. However, we started with 19 and there's only 12 left on the track, so 7 cars have found themselves behind pit wall, retired on the day, and that is super unfortunate to see. But a long racing season definitely puts wear and tear on these cars, and well, race cars just get tired, man, they break. So here we go, Rapid Duck, 1 corner left to go, and he's just moving it. He knows he had a great race here. He's flashing them headlights already. He's a happy guy. He's a happy guy as he comes around the final corner here, and it'll be interesting to see what he has to say in the podium interviews here. But that was some great racing right there by Rapid Duck. And congratulations on a solid round 8 finish for him with the win. Johnny B is going to bring this thing home in second place, but it's just a hair not enough for this driver, unfortunately. He's just going to relinquish that defending title, and we're going to see MxBloxom running number 1 on the side of his car and next season, to the best of my understanding here. So Johnny B just coming around here and get across that start finish line in second place. Great race from Johnny B here as we cut him off before he crosses the line. Poor guy. We got Bloxom right here in third place as he's coming right now. Great strategy call here by the MxBloxom 274 Gold Audi team here today, and that might have been the call of the day. When it comes to strategy can sometimes win or lose you a race, and it may have very well won a championship for MxBloxom here today as he comes across in third place. So congratulations to MxBloxom with a great podium finish here today, and I believe a championship title. Fluka here is coming around in fourth place. He's got Josh Hart just a couple seconds in behind there, it looks like. So a great run here by Josh Hart to try and recover, and Fluka is just going to bring it home here in fourth place. So just shy of the podium again is Fluka, but another great race finish here for the Ferrari driver, and GG's to him. Josh Hart coming through, P5 finish, GLR seal now. This driver, credit to this driver, he's been running around with a crumpled front clip on this race car for the vast majority of this race, and he's going to bring this home in 5th place. So that is a solid finish right there for our BMW driver, as he gets the scurry a little bit wrong there, but at this point it is just a technicality. And GLR Seal is going to bring this thing home in 6th place. It's going to be Rigo in 7th position. It's going to be JDR in 8th. Scary Guy in 9th. Tango 2 is going to round out the top 10. Critico is in 11th position. Racing Hobos in 12th. Call Me CJ in 13th. Ian in 14th. We got Pixel in 15th. Cletus in 16th. Coulon in 17th. Choco in 18th. And Bernie's going to finish here in 19th. It doesn't look like he even got started here today. So no points potentially even for that driver. And we got a couple drivers still on track here. No, these are drivers that are retired. So Rapid Duck comes in with the race win here today, and GG's to Rapid Duck for sure. That was a dominant performance. By the skin of his teeth, he fought back. He definitely focused on the task at hand. Heck of a recovery drive to lay claim to the throne. GG's. GG Duck, Johnny B, and GG to the rest of the boys on track. Yeah, that was a great race. I agree. That was a great race, wasn't it, guys? And gals. My apologies, being so gender selective here. Alright, we do have one of the drivers in the interview room. We'll talk with him shortly here. We're just going to let everybody get in. And in the meantime, we're going to kick you over to another screen and enjoy this great video provided here by the staff at IRL.
Chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. Look, faking the lead, we don't follow. We need it now, not tomorrow. Don't care what they say, not changing the pace. Working too hard to be last in the race. So much time in the day, and it ain't none to waste. Working this hard to be one of the greats. Whatever it takes, put that on the plate. Life is a gamble, we raising the stakes. Moving the bar up so high. Been on our grind, full life. Bringing the light, you just so bright. We shining, platinum sound cool, but we trying to reach diamond. Hard work pays off, that's perfect timing. Changing the world with this rhyming, it's priceless. We got the nicest by putting the time in. Can't be the greatest, you're not even trying. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up.
Hello? Man, I lost track of time. I apologize, Mama. Go ahead and eat without me. I'm still on the grind.
I ain't touching home base by dinner time. All I can see is the finish line. Started, I gotta finish mine. It's get it time, anytime, hella long. I've been in line, I didn't mind it all. Waking bake won't take a break at all. That's on my word, my boss. Naming lights gonna have to pay me twice or pay me no mind, and I don't mind it all. My grind is green, I am my job to inspire. I'm right behind Gote, line has been fired by a chain for a time. I ain't get hired, second week kicked in, I probably won't get tired. Kevin Gates or Kevin Bacon, only 6 degrees of separation between me and the next level of elevation. Perseverance, the art of dedication. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted.
Alright, that is a fire video, isn't it, Chris? I agree. Great job here from all our racers all season long, the staff, the volunteers, and everybody in between. What a great 8-week season we had here with the Infinite Racing League. And we do have our second place finisher in the race here today with us currently right now in the booth, and that is Johnny B. And boy, the implications of the race today for everybody at home, if you've just tuned in, was massive. MxBloxom coming into the series, he is our championship points leader coming into round 8 with a slim margin over Johnny B. Now, Johnny B thought maybe that he had given this away in a couple of rounds, fought back, some crazy stuff happened in a couple of rounds, and mathematically, it was very possible for Johnny B to still take that away from MxBloxom. Now, with how the race ended today and pending some potential race control investigations, it's hard to say how the official results are going to end, but I do believe as it stands right now, I think MX might have just squeezed him out, but what an effort here from Johnny B. And it was scary at the beginning of that race. I mean, crazy race out here at Monza today. Congratulations on your second place finish, and how are you feeling?
All things considered, I feel pretty good. I gave that one everything. Had a bit of a rough go in the first lap and second chicane there, but I really needed to beat him and put one person between us. I think had I won and he finished third, it would have given me the win, I think, by 1 point. And if I finished like second and him fourth like this, if we put one person between us, I think we might have been tied. But at a minimum, I had to put somebody between us and couldn't do it. He was fast. So yeah, that was everything I had, and it's good on him. Well done. You got to be consistent the whole season to take the championship down, and I just didn't do it.
And I mean, there's some things that could come up here, of course, throughout the race that could change things officially too. So there's always a slim potential that that could change, of course. But I mean, let's go to the start of the race. Everybody takes off after the safety car pulls into pit lane. The green flag drops. Everybody gets through turns 1 and 2 absolutely beautifully. Very patient, very calm, very collected. Everybody giving each other a good amount of space. And then we hit the second chicane, turns 4 and 5, and a little bit of hell breaks loose. And unfortunately, you were caught up in that a little bit. What was going through your mind at that moment? Is it just buckle down? Lots of race left. We still have 2 stops to make. What goes through your mind when you get caught up in an incident like that? Whether you know, trying your hardest obviously to avoid it with so much on the line, but at that moment, what's going on through your mind?
We just got to get back after it. That was it. It was kind of unfortunate. And going into that second chicane, I had my eyes in my rearview mirror to see if MX was going to go down the inside on me or something like that. And then I got on the brakes a touch late and didn't give much contact to Josh Hart, but it was, you know, obviously enough. And then I had probably, I think, 3 or 4 cars get by me, MX being one of them. So it was time to get back on the horse and see. And I knew I had good pace. I think the lap after the incident, I was about 3.5, 4 seconds behind him with 2 cars in between us. And then within like 4 or 5 laps, I got within a second and a half, 2 seconds of him. So I had the pace and then was able to get ahead through the pit stops and everything. I think he had an incident too in that second chicane later on. But like I said, it just wasn't enough. But we weren't going to give up. If there was a chance to be done, for something to be done, we were going to try to make it happen. So.
Absolutely, and I mean, tough run out there to try and get that race win. I mean, that McLaren driver, Rapid Duck today, just absolutely on a whole different level than the rest of the pack in qualifying, a second faster than the rest of the field, and pretty much indicative throughout the race pace the whole time too. However, though, scary moment for that driver too, entering pit lane for his first pit stop, had a car that was heavily damaged, maybe wasn't aware of the situation, and actually getting into a fairly large incident going into pit lane. So I think that Rapid was quite fortunate that he had that pace today, because I could have changed up everything with you and Bloxom chasing for that championship too, as that definitely cost him about 15 to 16 additional seconds in pit lane, of course, to fix up his race car. So, you know, we cue further into the race. You have that pit stop remaining still. Was it your plan the whole time to make that stop right at the end of the race, the final lap type thing, or were you just kind of playing that final pit stop based off of how the race was unfolding around you?
That was the plan. We had to make 2 pit stops. That was the only requirements in it. And the original strategy, which I stuck to, was have enough fuel to make it about halfway through the race, stop, take on fuel and tires, and then just go as deep as I could to make a splash and dash at the end. And then I could kind of play it out by pace, right? If I thought I was, you know, making a gap, or if I had clean air, you know, which I did, then I could just try to run down to the last 10 minutes. But, you know, like I said, it just wasn't enough. But that was the strategy all along.
Absolutely, and I mean, yeah, nonetheless, no matter how all this shakes down officially, once everything's sorted out behind the scenes, and they post those beautiful official results, Great racing. I mean, the last 4 rounds, especially this season, really shook everything up in the championship point standings leaders. Some drivers having just an off day, a bad race, and it completely shook everything up. The wet race at Zolder really shook things up, and of course, round 7 last week. Yeah, the nerves coming in, the pressure feeling a little bit maybe for these guys chasing that championship down with the pressure on. But boy, oh boy, did it provide for a fantastic 8-week season, and you were a major part of that as defending champion, and just maybe a hair a little short there this time around, but you're going to stick with Audi, I guess, moving into the next season, and looking forward to the next upcoming season.
For next season, might be a manufacturer change. That McLaren looks mighty good, and I did some testing in it a couple weeks ago when it came out, and yeah, I've been eyeing that up ever since. So now that we're moving on to the next season, fresh start. Don't have anything to defend at the moment, so I got to go get it. And I think we might pick a new horse to ride to do that. But yeah, and then hats off to MX. I had some pretty poor results the last couple races, and I mean the guy puts a ton of pressure on you. When he has a bad race, he finishes third, fourth. When I have a bad race, it's ninth, 11th, something like that. So yeah, he puts a hell of a lot of pressure on you, and I think it got to me a few times in the last couple of races. Today we held on though, but hats off to him. He had a hell of a season.
Absolutely, and I mean, not to take away from yourself, an incredible season from yourself as well, and just for the viewers at home, Bloxom and Johnny B are teammates. These guys are teammates. These guys race together in team events outside, of course, of this series, and they compete very, very well together. They work very well together. They drive very well together. So this was a battle of legends, really, in my opinion. These when you have such closely paced drivers that are know each other so well, it's really hard to find an advantage or a disadvantage on each other. So you come out today and it is mortal enemies today. And I mean, how does that play on your psyche, knowing that your teammates and you do so well as a unit in these endurance races? You come in here and you're fighting ultimately the person that knows you the best. How does that play on your mind when you come into these races?
It kind of changes up the habits actually, because generally going into races, even when we're going through the season, until it gets down to crunch time, like the last couple of weeks, we bounce ideas off each other and set up ideas and stuff like that, and it kind of it throws off the rhythm a little bit when we have to be kind of tight-lipped with what we're doing during the week and stuff like that, because he doesn't want me to know where he stands, I don't want him to know where I stand. So yeah, it does throw things off and make things tough, but it is what it is. And then it's nice now that starting tomorrow we can be friends again, and then and if we find ourselves in the same situation a couple months down the road, then so be it, but we can go back to being friends, which is nice.
Absolutely, and I mean, just a great season and a very close finish there for that championship here this season. So I guess anything you want to add, the floor is yours, and of course we'll speak with Bloxom when you're finished.
I mean, it was a great season, great championship. Thanks to IRL for putting everything on. It was definitely the most heated and competitive season. Would have been nice to take it down, but something like that will reignite the fire to next season, come back and try to take that trophy right back from them.
Absolutely, and that's the competitive spirit, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we love to hear, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. And congratulations on a really good, hard-fought season.
Thanks, and I appreciate the call as always.
Hey, we appreciate it. Great action on the track sure does make it fun, doesn't it, viewers at home? Oh, yes, and this has been a doozy this season. This 8-week season has produced some great racing action start to finish, but the man of the hour, this guy had a lot on the line here today too. MxBloxom had a very tough early part of his race. I mean, let's start there. Congratulations, first of all, third place finish overall today on the race. Still knocking on a podium there after a little bit of adversity. You got a little caught up there. You got into a car going into a corner, and then a couple corners later, you had another car get into you. It kind of shook you up a little bit. Let's start there. I mean, how do you kind of get yourself back on track? You know what's at stake. You know where you need to be, and after everything is said and done there, how do you just kind of lock it back in immediately and just try to start gaining that ground? I guess is my first biggest question.
Forget that it happened. Just plain and simple, you can't dwell on it. You just gotta keep going. I'd have to look at a replay. I think he kind of moved under braking on me and pinched me off into the turn. Then on the next one, I don't know if he touched me or not. I didn't feel a touch, maybe he did, but the car just snapped. Wasn't too happy about it at the time, but yet, again, I can't sit there and dwell on it. I've got to get back to just cranking out the fastest laps I can and just try to gain as much ground as I had. I kind of figured it was over and Johnny had won it. And I have no idea what happened to Critico there at the end, but he all of a sudden just wasn't even in the race. I'm stoked, just stoked.
I mean, absolutely. Obviously, a plethora of emotions that run through after a long, hard-fought season, and you find yourself standing on the tallest part of the podium. But it was a battle. I mean, it is a very slim margin, and it was a very tough opponent that you had to take the crown from here today. And again, like I just said to the viewers, obviously a close friend and a teammate, typically outside of this series as well. So. How does that play? To you, is that more fun because you know exactly what you're getting out of that driver, or does it make it more difficult knowing what that driver is capable of doing?
It's been tough. I feel like there's been some races I've just been a tick off and just didn't feel like I was myself, but I still seem to have just podiumed everybody to death this season. To be honest, I think this is the first championship I've had with only 2 wins. It's usually I've either dominated it or had at least five wins out of the 8 races. But man, Johnny pushed me hard. This one probably means more than any of the other ones that I've had. This one means a lot. It's just been so hard fought. He's even pushed me to places that I didn't think I wanted to go with the car. It's been fun. It's been one hell of a season.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, great show today. I mean, you faced some serious adversity here today, and then you had another incident later on in the race. Is that what prompted that pit stop, or was that roughly around where you were thinking you wanted that first stop to be?
No, that actually had me pitting earlier than I wanted to. Just, I really thought it was over at that point, and I was just kind of just going through the motions for a lap or two until I finally had to tell myself, look, we're sitting in 5th place and 2 guys ahead of me still got a pit. So it was like, oh hell, I can still win this. I really thought it was over. Hats off to Johnny this season. I mean, dude's been on fire.
And that's funny. That brings me to a couple of questions ahead that I was going to run to. It was, were you aware that Fluka and Josh Hart, of course, still had a pit stop remaining ahead of you, which obviously you just clarified you were more than aware. So great communication with the team behind the scenes there between driver and team, and that is important in racing too, ladies and gentlemen. But you made another pit stop, 1 or 2 laps right after you made the first stop after the damage repair and everything. Was that an altered strategy? You figured, you know what, I'm just going to do it now, get out of the way, and if I can run this thing clean, maybe I got a shot. Is that what was going through your mind there, or was that kind of a part of the strategy coming into the race in a sense?
It was kind of a last minute thing. I looked at the map and seen that the team's telling me if we pit right now, we can come out in clean air. And it was like, well, it's time just to go ahead and do it and just run another long stint. I don't know.
Well, nonetheless, I mean, sometimes strategy can make or break a race for a racer, and I really, really do strongly believe and feel that call secured your championship for you here tonight. If you would have waited any longer, or maybe decided to try and fight through some traffic, maybe we could have had a different result here today. But I really do think that call that you and the team made there to come in and get get the stop out of the way, clear the mandatories, and just have some clean air and run a good clean stint, and here it goes. I really do think that was kind of the turning point in the race for you, was that great call made. And clearly it paid dividends as you got just enough done to do what you had to do to secure that championship. So, I mean, congratulations. It has been an absolute pleasure to watch all the drivers coming through the Infinite Racing League here this season, putting on a great show for the viewers at home, myself, and, of course, the organizer of the event. It does seem like the competition is definitely getting a lot tougher and a lot more difficult out there on the racetrack as we progress through our seasons here in Infinite Racing League. So, I mean, the bigger question is, I mean, we obviously already know that Bloxom and Johnny B, they're always fighting. They're worried about beating each other. But I guess the bigger question to you two drivers now is, we have Rapid Duck in the equation here. he clearly feels very comfortable behind the wheel of that McLaren. He's shown that in round 7 and round 8 with some pretty dominating performance. Is he now the next target moving into next season?
Duck's always a target. Duck is always a target. Duck is always fast. I'd like to say we just wait for him to make a mistake, but usually once the guy's out in front, he doesn't make too many mistakes. We'll hit the test track here real soon, and you never know. We may not even be on Team Audi. We may be taking that number 1 somewhere else. We're gonna find a car that suits us a little better, and the BOP is a little bit better on it, and we're gonna go after him the next season. It's defend. Make it happen. The work never stops.
No truer words have ever been spoken right there. Edward coming in with that thumbs up. Appreciate you, my guy. I mean, great season from you. Great fought battle. And I'm just going to leave you have the floor with some final remarks on the season and whatever you want to say there. And scream, yell, have some fun, whatever it is you want to do. But the floor is yours. Our GT3 Summer Series champion, ladies and gentlemen, Team IRL's MxBloxom. And boy, it was a close finish. If you missed a race, you definitely want to go back and check it out later at your own convenience. But the floor is yours, my guy. Congratulations.
First, I had a big shout out to Johnny. Man, he's probably my best friend on the game. He's my partner in crime, ride or die, man. It's now we can go back to being buddies, and we can go win us some big endurance races together again. And thank you to IRL and everybody behind the scenes that makes this happen. Thank you, Ghost, for broadcasting all season. Thank you, Team IRL Audi. They put me in a good enough car every weekend to basically be on the podium every race. Just stoked, man. Fucking stoked, dude.
Understandable, my guy. Understandable. It's all good. We already pre-warned the viewers that the interviews might get a little risque here this evening because, of course, it's the finale. So there's going to be lots of adrenaline running, lots of excitement running. But great racing from you this season. I cannot wait to see you defend that title next season. That's for sure. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. GT45 Gaming is returning to the Infinite Racing League in the booth to continue on next season with this amazing group of drivers because, hey, the action's so good, we just can't miss it. But, huge congratulations to Bloxom, Johnny B, Rapid Duck for our podiums here tonight, and every single one of the drivers that came through this season. I'm pretty sure that we have seen about 40 plus different drivers come through the season, check things out, get on track, and try their might against the best and the new drivers, and boy, it's been fun. So, GG's to everybody, GG's to our champion, MxBloxom. Go and celebrate my guy, get with that team, and go start spraying some champagne, my dude. All right, rock and roll, chat. That was fantastic. Bloxom, hard fought championship this season. He deserved it. Johnny B gave it everything he had tonight. There was a lot on the line. This was all broke down. We were talking about this a little bit earlier on the racetrack before the race started here and throughout the week on how this is all setting up. Johnny B felt really deflated at the end of last round 7. He really thought that he threw that one away. When those official results came in and they started crunching the numbers and started doing the math like every single race team is going to do before they head into the finale to see if they can grab one more spot, he realized that this was far from over, and boy, fire relit in Johnny B. And well, the only difference we're going to see is maybe a car change for Team Audi, but instead of Johnny B's car holding number 1, we're going to see teammate MxBloxom holding the number 1 moving into the next series. I want to give a huge shout out again to our presenters, the Infinite Racing League. Absolutely stand-up season. What they're doing over here is fantastic. I'm seeing new drivers coming into the server regularly to come and see what's going on. I'm also seeing the GT45 gaming community starting to come in and get involved. Let's go. Let's get it winner's circle. That's what I want to see. Are you going to be the next podium interviewee here at Infinite Racing League talking to us here post-race? Are you going to be the next one holding a big championship trophy at the end of the season? If you don't try, you don't get to hold the trophy. That's all I'm going to say about that. Partnered with Coach Dave Academy. I mean, Coach Dave Academy, a legend in his own right when it comes to ACC, providing top-level professional tunes for a set of Corsa Competition on PC and console. We'll head over to the Coach Dave Academy website there. They've also got tips and tricks on how to set your wheel up depending on what kind of wheel you have. If it's a set of Corsa Competition related, Coach Dave Academy has a blog or a write-up or something about what you're looking for and things that you want to know here at ACC on PlayStation 5. what a blast of a season, and what a way to end the season, right down to the wire. Strategy played massive key here. I really do strongly believe that strategy and the call from the team audio MxBloxom team really did lock in that championship for him today. Absolutely fantastic racing out there. Monza's Monza, baby, and what a great way to finish the season. Just huge love to all the volunteers behind the scenes, our racing stewards, race control, again, all the emergency crews on these tracks, the tracks themselves for allowing us to come and rip their racetracks up with our beautiful GT3 cars. A huge thanks to Exceed Corsa Competición and the amazing platform that they provide for us to have these great races. And is a good old boy. Gives me John Force vibes in his interviews. I love it. I know, right? He is. I know. It's awesome, Chris. I agree. So, I mean, just stay tuned. I believe that we're going to be back next week to start the next season. Maybe 2 weeks' time. I'm not sure. But as soon as I know, you guys will know. We'll make the announcements on the socials. We'll get it in the Discord server. And like I said, we're seeing the community really starting to get involved over here on ACC, and we love it. And do you guys got what it takes to beat down these elite tier drivers? You've seen what we're up against. If you come in, come give it a shot. Come see if you're talking to me at the end of the day. Much love, much appreciation to the Infinite Racing League. Absolutely stand-up group, and I look forward to our future here as we progress into the ACC esports organization world. Well, you want to know more, ladies and gentlemen, how do you find out? Simgrid.com. Head over there, sign up for a Simgrid account. When you are all said and done, you come up to an option where you can search and look for your favorite leagues to race in. You go into that little beautiful search engine, type in Infinite Racing League or IRL, and it will take you right directly to their spot on SimGrid. From there, you follow Infinite Racing League. You get a Discord invite. You get sent to the Discord with a great community, and I got to tell you, the huge vibes in that community, let me tell you. And bada bing, bada boom. From there, the administration staff will help you along the way. All you got to do is ask some questions if you're not sure what's going on, and get on track and get on camera and test your might against these great drivers. We appreciate y'all. We love you all. You all matter, and most importantly, stay winning, folks. We'll see you all very soon, because we got Roving Island World Tour 2 Sprint Nights on Tuesday night, 1 week before official racing season. So GG's and congratulations to everybody that put in an absolutely amazing season here at the Infinite Racing League. Ciao for now, everybody.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're